Right. Hey. Students, give me a minute. We'll quickly arrange this. In 19 days, yeah, roughly 3 weeks. Ne? So we have reached the 100 mark. හරිද? මොකද link එක? මට දැන් එවපු එකද? This one, ne? Right, okay. Center is live as well, right? So now if you want, you can join that or you can stay on the Zoom meeting. That doesn't matter actually. You can be anywhere you want. Alright, I'll just check whether the live is okay. Okay, that's fine. Ne? The captions are on. Live के captions off करना. Right? Right, okay. Alright, I think everything is settled now. Then ඔක්කොම හරි shape එකේ we can do. Right. Ne? Right, okay. So if you have questions regarding any thing about the seminar, you can send it to the Zoom chat, but there might be a certain delay when I'm replying, right? මේ seminar එක කරන්නත් ඕනේ. හරි. හරි නේද? Right, then we can start. I think we can continue. Okay. Done. Hurry. Now what are we doing? The concept of mole, right? The concept of mole. Okay. Now, if you have any issues, put it on the chat. I'm making sure that you know everything before we start. Hurry up. We'll start at around 8:30. I'll give you all the required info before that. Then we are good to go. And we'll continue at around until around let's say 11:30 to 12, as I mentioned on the group. And at around 10 or 10:30, we'll have a small interval. Apart from that, everything is normal. I hope most of you students have joined online classes previously, and in your A-levels also, you will be joining online classes as well. And today, we will cover, as I said, as I previously said, cover the entire concept of mole. I'll revise you the entire lesson within roughly 1 hour, 1.5 hours. And then we'll write a short note while revising the entire unit. And we'll do small questions to understand the concept during writing the theory. And after completing the unit, we'll complete the tute which I have given you. So I expect you to have a hard copy of that tute. If you don't have a hard copy, then that's fine. But if you have a hard copy, then that would be much easy, right? So whenever you are referring to papers, referring to PDFs, always try to have a hard copy, right? Having a soft copy, looking at a soft copy is not even good for your health and not good for your eyes in the long run. It's right? And also it's a distraction. WhatsApp you get a notification and then you get distracted, right? Always try to have a hard copy. That's a tip from my side. And what else do I want to mention before we start? Regarding there might be a possibility where I can arrange a physics O-level science seminar as well. If that is important, is that important? Can you just send a yes if it is important. If it is not important, you can either send a no or just not reply. Is it important? Right, is it important? Hurry. Then I'll try my best to arrange a physics O-level seminar as well. right? For bio, I'm not sure, but bio පාඩම් කරන්න පුළුවන් නේද? It's okay, right? For physics, I'll try my best to arrange a free seminar series like this, right? And also keep note that we are not only doing 2 seminars, right? This is the stage 1 of our seminar. We only advertised that. So we will be doing today the concept of mole, and on the next Tuesday we will be covering electrochemistry. I hope for a lot of students electrochemistry is difficult. Is it difficult? Amaru dega. Yo, is it easy? Is electrochemistry easy or difficult? It's not much. Ah, okay. It's easy. It's difficult. Ah, okay. So we have mixed opinions. So according to my understanding, most students find electrochemistry difficult, and even for the students who find it easy, they have doubts. And some students say that it is easy just by studying all the reactions. But in A levels, you learn how to understand those reactions logically, which I can actually teach for all level students as well. That's not difficult. එහෙම කියලා දුන්නම lazy, right? Even for me myself, when I was doing my O levels, I found electrochemistry difficult. When I did it for A levels, I thought that, oh, this is the logic. This is what actually was happening. If that was taught in O levels, then it would have been easy, right? So there's something like that. So we'll cover the entire electrochemistry, and afterwards we'll have few more seminars on how to do papers, how to manage your time, and there will be a lot of stuff until your O level starts, right? We will have free seminars, so you can join those seminars. Everything will be informed on the group. So this is just the stage 1 having 2 seminars, right? There another. Okay. Then enough talking ne. ඇති නේ. කතා ඇති. Okay. Shape. Hari. Fine. Right. Then Hari. All good to go. Concept of mole. Hari. Another thing. Now this is an online class. What's the most important thing in an online class? What වැදගත්ම දේ online class එක? What's the most important discipline you need to maintain in an online class? Yeah, okay, focus. In order to maintain focus, you need to make sure you are sitting in a proper place, which means not in your bed, not in a couch, right? සැපට ඇලවෙලා ඇඳේ නිදාගෙන net දාගෙන එහෙම කරන්න බෑ online classes. Even for me, if I was in the bed, then I would fall asleep, right? තේරෙනවනේ? එහෙම බෑ. You need to sit on a proper chair on your studying desk or wherever a proper place. හරි තේරෙනවනේ? You get the idea. Is that clear? Right. Keep our mics muted. Isn't your mics muted? Your mics are actually muted. You mean okay. Yeah, okay. So I think you can't unmute yourself. That I have made sure that that's okay. So you need not to maintain that discipline. The mics are always muted. I think don't go and try it out, but I think it's muted. Anyways, keep that in mind, right? If you are still now, you have 3 weeks, right? You have 3 more weeks. And if you are still lazy, if you are still asleep, if you are still not putting your 100% even for all levels, then I don't know, right? I'm not going to say anything. So always make sure to give your maximum. This is really important, right? This is really important. You have 3 more weeks. You join this free seminar, not to just because not for the sake of having a free seminar, right? You join this seminar because you have issues. ඔයාට ප්‍රශ්න තියෙන ඉඳ තමයි මම මෙතන join උනේ. And within these 3.5 hours, I am not going to say, but you will understand how much of a difference I can make under this concept. And on the next week, you will understand how much of a difference I can make under the electrochemistry. And forever, until your O levels, you will understand how much of a difference I can make, right? That's number 1. But from your side, if you are not willing to give the effort, then I don't know, right? And always remember, I don't know whether there might be students who are at the A level or the B level or C level or S level. Doesn't matter. Do your maximum for your O levels, having no regrets. Sorry, අන්තිමට regrets තියාගන්න එපා. If you after your O levels, if you think අපරාධේ මට තව චුට්ටක් කරන්න තිබුණා, I could have put a little bit more effort, then that's a regret, right? Actually, your result doesn't matter. The regret does matter, right? ඔයා දැන් ඉන්නේ S එකක නම් if you can get it up to a B, then that's satisfying. But if you are in an A now and if you get a B, then that's not satisfying, right? තේරෙනවද? That's how satisfaction matters. Satisfaction happens, right? තේරෙනවද? Therefore, put your effort. මෙතන ඉඳන් 3 hours, we'll have a small interval. A mulu velama, promise yourself that you are going to focus no matter what happens, and then you are not going to leave the meeting. Then you are going to continue the meeting until whenever I'm going to finish the meeting, right? තේරෙනවද? ඒක හරියට ඔළුවේ තියාගෙන moral එක තියාගෙන වැඩේට එන්න, right? That's really important. Those emotional things are really important when it comes to building your career, right? A levels වලදී තේම තමයි. It's tough. You need to put some effort, but you need to have that gut feeling that okay, I'm going to do this. It might be difficult. ඉස්සර අමාරු ඇති. I might not be that good, but I'm still going to do this. ඒ moral එක තියාගෙන මෙතනට එන්න. තේරෙනවද? Is that clear? Right. Then let's start. Right? Okay, then let's start. Hi. Put the topic. Sorry. Write down the topic. Quantification of elements and compounds. Write down the topic, right? Quantifications of elements and compounds. Right. Finally, we are starting. Topic के लिए आगे मैं लगा द्वारा. अरे अरे नहीं. Okay. To write now here, we are actually going to build a short note, right? So you better have a separate note. Tute ke तीन questions ne. In the tute there are questions. We'll do the questions later after revising this. For this part, you just have a write it in a separate book. Ne. Pitu tuna hadarak we won't write a lot, but we'll write something. Hari. Under this topic, we have 5 subtopics. Always, if you have questions, put it on the chat. But I won't reply very quickly, but I'll reply. I'll try to reply. If I miss your question, again put it. Right? We have 5 subtopics under this topic, right? Under the main topic of quantification of elements and compounds. You normally know this lesson as the mole, right? The mole. Under that, we have 5 subtopics. The first subtopic is the atomic mass unit, right? Atomic mass unit. Always I'll try to communicate with you, therefore answer my questions, right? Now, what do you know about the atomic mass unit? Does anyone know? We also name this atomic mass unit as AMU. Atomic mass unit. Right? Okay, then tell me, what do you know about atomic mass unit? What do you know? Any answers? Answers about the drive or no? Any answers on atomic mass unit? The mass of an atom, the mass of unit relative to which the mass of other atoms are. Okay, how are we going to express the atomic mass unit? Just a simple formula. How are we going to express the atomic mass unit? How we make express gun? Good. You know, right? Okay. How are we going to do this? This atomic mass unit is defined as 1/12 of the mass of carbon 12. What is this? We have 3 types of carbons, right? Carbon 12, carbon 13, and carbon 14. You can write a 6 here, or it doesn't matter. If you don't want to, you can avoid writing a 6. Right? Harida? What are these? Yeah, these are isotopes, right? What is the meaning of isotope? Now, even though we are doing the we are doing this concept of mole, I'll try to revise everything around that, right? පුළුවන් තරම් කතා කරගෙන ඇදගෙන යන්න මේ. හරි? Then what are these? මොනවද මේ isotopes, right? What are isotopes? Can someone explain isotopes? මොකද වෙනස? Different? Okay, yeah. So the substances of a given element which have different amount of neutrons. Since the number of neutrons are different, what changes again? Number of the neutrons are different, but that's not the definition. We don't say substances with different number of neutrons. Yes, different number of mass number, right? We are talking about the mass number. For the same element, always the atomic number is similar, right? Now, if a student doesn't know what's atomic number, you can ask. Atomic number is the number of protons. For carbon, it's always 6. Then we have the mass number. What's the mass number? The sum of protons and neutrons, which is different. Now, since the number of protons are equal, the number of neutrons are different here. So for this one, we have 6 neutrons, we have 7 neutrons, and we have 8 neutrons. Is that clear? Hari? Right? Right. Then, so we know what atomic mass unit is, right? What atomic mass unit is? It's simply defined as, it's just a simple definition. What is it defined like? It defined mass 1/12 of the mass of carbon 12 isotope. That's it. That's very simple, right? That's very simple. What is atomic number? Atomic number is the number of protons. Number of protons is known as the atomic number. Number of protons. And also, if I'm going little bit faster, since I'm a A-level chemistry student, right? Or since I'm going a little bit slow, if I'm going a little bit slower, just let me know, right? ටක් ගාලා මට කියන්න මං හෙමින් වැඩි නම් කියන්න වේගෙන් වැඩි නම් කියන්න, right? දන්නේ නැහනේ. I don't know what pace you use, therefore inform me. Let me know, right? This is the number of protons and this is the mass. This is the atomic number. This is the atomic number. Right? This is atomic number for the moment, atomic number. And this is the mass number, which is the sum of protons and neutrons. Sum of protons and neutrons. The sum of protons and neutrons. Then that's it. So that we can keep that right. So write the first subtopic. You can write Roman number 1. Always try to write a note very neatly. Because you will be studying this one day, not me. You will be studying this. So under the main topic, write the first subtopic, atomic mass unit, and under that, write the small definition. Atomic mass unit, and under that, write the small definition. Write the small definition. 1/12 1/12 of the mass of speed up the session a little bit more, but still we are trying to figure out a small error. The audio is a little bit weird for me. I just want to figure it out. So we'll try to fix it first. I don't know what's happened. Isn't the audio a little bit weird? We can hear clearly. No, I know you can hear clearly, but is the audio normal? Really? Give me a few minutes. Sorry, we'll. Audio normal. So exactly, my voice is rough. Exactly. Actually, my voice isn't rough. That's what I want to figure out. My voice is katana. In the live, it's not good. Give me a minute. Give me a minute. We'll try to figure it out. What do you allow then, Lama? Just give me like 2 to 3 minutes. Okay, we can figure it out. What do you allow then, right? Did it change, students? Quickly give me the feedback. Is it normal now, or is it still the deep, rough voice? It's normal. What did it change? It's still the same. Okay. Okay. Right, we'll continue. Meanwhile, we'll try to figure it out, right? Hari. Yeah, sorry for that. Hari. Then did you write down the definition? What's the definition? Mass of 1/12 of, sorry, 1/12 of the mass of carbon-12 isotope, right? 1/12 of the mass of carbon-12 isotope. 1/12 of the mass of carbon-12 isotope. So you can write it like this, or else you can write it like this, right? Doesn't matter. Okay, now what I want you to do is, I want you to calculate the atomic mass unit using your knowledge, right? What are we going to do here is, what we are going to do, then metana, right. Now we are going to calculate the atomic mass unit. We are going to calculate the atomic mass unit. For that, I'll give you, I just want to know whether you know how to do a small calculation, because I want to get an idea about your level. I'll give you the mass of carbon, right? Mass of one carbon atom. I won't simplify it. I'll just give you that. Now we know how are we going to get this atomic mass unit by getting the mass of one carbon atom. So did I say one carbon atom? So it should be 1/12 of the mass of one carbon atom. Sorry, one carbon-12 atom. It should be atom at the end, right? One carbon-12 of one carbon atom. So you need to get the mass of one carbon atom and then divide it by 12. Is that clear? Right. Now here, I'll give you the mass of one carbon atom as 12 grams divided by this number. Some might know how this came, but if you don't know, doesn't matter. This is the mass of one carbon atom, right? This is the mass of one carbon atom. And since we need to divide it by 12, why it's 1/12, I'm going to multiply this by 1, 12. Right? Now, what I want you to do is simplify this. Simplify this and give me the answer, right? Simplify this and give me answer. Just don't send me the answer which you have learned. Some might know how to, what the value of AMU. I want you to simplify this using a logbook and then send me the answer. I'll give you 2 minutes, right? Meanwhile, we'll try to figure this out. Hurry, quickly. Once you get the answer, put it on the chat. Hurry. I'll teach you on how to use the log sheets as well later. Students, did it change? Did the audio change? You can hear me, right? Did it change? Or is it still the... Now it's clear. Did it change? Or not? Shall we check? It changed. How did it change? Like, what's the difference? Right, changed it? Right. Okay. Finally, Ambo. Right, okay. Then we had to change the device which I'm joining. I don't know how that even is possible. Come on. I like voice before, but that's not my voice. So can't help. Sorry, yeah. Okay. That's not my voice. You need to know how I sound like, right? Okay. Now it's soft. Okay. That should be. Huh? All right. Is the screen flipped? Everything is fine, right? Is everything fine? Hari. Right. Okay. Fine. Finally. Hari. Then now I won't ask any questions, right? We'll continue. I don't know whether we'll have more technical difficulties, but normally these things won't happen, but I don't know what happened today. Live check the live. Hari. Right now, I want you to simplify this. Thank you for your support, Hari. Thank you for support, Hari. We'll try to continue. Power Hari. Right. Okay, any other answers? I got few answers. How are we going to simplify this? How are you going to simplify this? If you have questions, put it on the chat. No need to raise your hand, right? You can chat it. Come simplify maker. Yeah, simply you can cancel out this to this. Then you will be left with 1 over 6.022 into 10 to the power 23. So you can simplify this. I'll show you how to use your logbooks later. How to do simplifications using your log sheets. I don't know whether is it necessary for your O levels. Do you frequently use it or do they give the values? I don't know. I'm not aware of that, honestly. Ogalan logbooks use another frequently or is it not? In maths we can use. They give the value. Okay. For science, if they don't give, then no need, right? So the value here is
In A levels, almost in every subject we use, that's why. So it's roughly 1.67 into 10 to the power minus 24, and here we had the unit gram, so it's grams. So this is the atomic mass unit. This is the approximate value of the atomic mass unit. Is that clear? This is the approximate value of the atomic mass unit. Hari? Right. Okay, good. Right. Hari. So that's it for atomic mass unit. Now the first subtopic is very easy, right? The first subtopic is very easy, nothing complicated. Actually, the first three topics are easy. Once we start doing the fourth one, things might get a little bit confusing afterwards. You can sort it out. Hari? All right, under this, it's simply this method. Now we'll try to increase the pace. Right, so this is the atomic mass unit. You can simply do the simplifications and that's it. Hari? Right. Done? I'll give you 30 seconds. Then we'll switch to the second subtopic. Our aim is not to revise the unit, but to do questions, right? Unit agal revise karna. Right? Okay. Then the second subtopic. I am always keeping these slides, so whenever you want anything to be explained, ask me, right? The second subtopic is AR. What's AR? Does anyone know? What's AR? AR again, what is AR? There are a few questions. Not argon. That's not that. Sorry, not like that. It's AR. Subscripted, not this argon. Not that. This one. What's AR? Yeah, I'll give you a few questions. We'll see. Relative atomic mass, right? This is the relative atomic mass. Is that clear? This is the relative atomic mass. What is the relative atomic mass? Now we have the atomic mass unit. Then how are we supposed to get the relative atomic mass? Relative atomic mass. So you know what's mass, right? Always try to understand this, not by studying, but by understanding the concept. Hari? What's relative? අපි මොකක්ද relative කියන්නේ සාපේක්ෂයි කියන්නේ? We compare it with some other thing, right? It's not an absolute value, it's a comparison. And it's about an atomic mass. So what happens here is, we are comparing a given atomic mass with someone, and therefore we are calling it the relative atomic mass. What's that someone? With whom are we going to compare this? The mass of a atom. Let's say I'm asking you the relative atomic mass of oxygen, and I'm giving you the mass of oxygen, the atomic mass of oxygen. Then that atomic mass will be compared with what? මොකක් එකද compare කරන්නේ? I want the proper answer. It's not carbon. With what are we going to compare this with? With the, we are now, good. We are comparing it with the atomic mass unit, right? Which we learned previously. Now we know what is atomic mass unit. That's the, let's say, the origin name. Come on. That's the one which we are using to compare, right? So there's a simple equation for this. What's the name of this AR? Relative atomic mass. Relative atomic mass. Under the relative atomic mass, we are going to compare mass of a given atom. Mass of a given atom, right? Mass of a given atom divided by the atomic mass unit. Atomic mass unit is the one which we learned here. This is the atomic mass unit. Is that clear? This is the atomic mass unit. This is the number. So you need to simply plug that here. That's it. Right. Quickly write down this equation, then I'll give you a few, like one question just to make sure that we are okay with this. Very simple concepts, not that complicated. Mass of a given atom, but you need to make sure it should be mass of a given atom, right? Not a molecule, not a compound. Why? This is the relative atomic mass. We are only considering an atom, not a molecule, right? Not a compound. It's an atom. Hari, dagamu. Hari? Doesn't matter. Actually, once you round off the atomic mass, it will be 1.67. If you take 6.023, then it's 1.66. Yeah, doesn't matter. In O levels, if you are using 1.66 frequently, use it. Doesn't matter. For both, they will give you marks. Hari, both are okay. Right. This is the relative atomic mass. Clear? Relative atomic mass. Are you doing chemical bonds also? Not today. We are not doing chemical bonds today. But I'll send you a Google form asking for your suggestions, right? I'll ask for your suggestions, and we'll see. We'll arrange few more sessions. Not only these two, right? මේ දෙකට වඩා තව ගොඩක් sessions කරනවා අපි. හරි? I'll give my full support until your O levels. හරි? මම මගේ පුළුවන් support එක දෙනවා ඔයගලන්ට. Right? Is that clear? Right. If this is clear, put a Q and write. We normally in our classes put a Q to write questions. Why? Then whenever we are going across our note, we can easily identify the questions, right? I always prioritize writing a clear note. That's really important in your A levels. I don't know in O levels, but we'll do the same. Hurry. Put a Q and write. Calculate the AR. Calculate the AR. Calculate the AR. Of oxygen. Calculate the AR of oxygen. Calculate the AR of oxygen. Right? Now still the questions are easy. And in brackets, write. Mass of an oxygen atom. Mass of an oxygen atom is 5.3 into 10 to the power minus 23 grams. 23 grams. Right? Sorry, it's actually half of that. Make this 2.67. Sorry, make this 2.67. 2.67 into 10 to the power minus 23 grams. Hmm. Two point six කරගන්නකො වඩා හොඳයි. Doesn't matter. If you started the calculation doing 2.67, doesn't matter. This is the most correct value, right? Value of AMU, you need to figure it out now. I won't give it now. You need to either remember it or you need to derive it using the concept which you know, right? Okay. Cover the entire chemistry syllabus. Is that possible? Huh? And there's a comment saying thank you very much. Okay, you are welcome. So how are you going to get it? I'll give you one more minute. I'll give you 1 minute. This is the mass of an oxygen atom. You need to figure out what AMU is now. Do the calculation and put it on the chat. I have few answers. Good. Okay, we have the answer, right? We have a lot of answers. I want the relative atomic mass. Now, how are we going to get it? This is the mass of oxygen, right? This is the mass of oxygen, one atom of oxygen. Now we are going to get the AR. AR එක ගන්න ඕනේ අපි. AR equals the mass of the oxygen atom divided by the AMU, right? Now we know the mass of the oxygen atom, which was given 2.66 into 10 to the power minus 23 grams, right? 23 grams. And then you need to divide this by what? You will have to divide this by the atomic mass unit, right? You need to divide this by the atomic mass unit, which is the value which we obtained here. Maybe this value 1.66 into 10 to the power minus 24. 1.66 into 10 to the power minus 24. You need to simplify this and then you can get an answer, right? So here you can get this on top, then it will be 26.6 divided by 1.66. You know how to simplify these two, right? You can take it here, then it will be 10 to the power 24, then these two will be simplified as 10. Then you can write it like this. You can simplify this by simply dividing, then you will get something around 16.02, right? Why do we use, because that's the atomic mass number. This is the atomic mass number. So atomic mass unit, sorry. This is the atomic mass unit, this one. Atomic mass unit, that's why we use it there. Now what's the unit here? Grams. Here you can see, here it's in grams. Hurry. Since we have it in grams, once you simplify this, grams will be cancelled to grams, and then do we have a unit here? No, we don't have a unit. Right? We don't have a unit. Is that clear? Now you can mention that somewhere else, because for a MCQ they can ask. You need to know that for the relative atomic mass, right? For the relative atomic mass, we don't have a unit. For the relative atomic mass, we don't have a unit. So this is the second subtopic. Ne? For the relative atomic mass, we don't have a unit. So simple as that. Now here, if I revise you the question, they gave us the mass of one oxygen atom. We wrote it here. We divided it by the what? Atomic mass number. Sorry, atomic mass unit. In A levels, we say atomic mass number, but atomic mass unit. So by dividing those two, you will get 16. That's the idea. Is that clear? That's the idea. Right. If you have questions, you can ask. Isn't it 2.66? I explained the simplification. Ne? So it's simply, what I did here was I took this part on top. Then do you want me to show the simplifications? It was this into 10 to the power minus 23 divided by 1.66 into 10 to the power minus 24. You know how to deal with these powers of 10, right? So I can write this 2.66 over 1.66 into 10 to the power minus 23. And I'm taking this on top, and this will be 10 to the power 24. The sign will change, right? Basic concepts of powers. Then these two will be cancelled as 10. 10 to the power minus 24 and 10 to the power 24 is 10, right? Only 10 to the power 1. I hope those are clear. If you have doubts, you can ask. Then this 2.66 will be multiplied by this 10, which will be 26.6 divided by 1.66. What's the value? Isn't not 16.02? It is 26.6 divided by 1.66. Yeah, it's 16.02. Right? How do you calculate using the logbook in case I forget? I'll inform that. I'll take a small amount of time, because I got to know that you are not normally using logbooks for your level science, right? Since you are normally not using, no need to bother about it. But so where do we use it for maths? Maths all the I can't remember. So where do we use it? In trigonometry, in maths. Okay, right. So, but still you need to have that skill. Ne? I'll take few minutes to explain it later. Not now. We'll use it. Right. Then, right. So that's the second one. Correct. And in A levels, I think for bio use the logbook. It's like a basic skill which you need to have for A levels. right? Okay, then we are good to go. That's it for the second topic. The third one, something very similar to which we learned, it's the MR. What's MR? AR was relative atomic mass, right? What's MR? What is MR? No, not molar mass, that's capital M. Yeah, relative molecular mass of mass or else relative molecular mass. Ne? Relative molecular mass. What's that? The same concept which we learned for AR. AR was the relative atomic mass. This is the relative molecular mass. What's the difference? Only that atomic and molecular part, right? So the only difference is here we are again using the atomic mass unit. Nothing will change. But here instead of now for the previous one, what did we write? In the previous one we wrote mass of a given atom, right? It's mass of a given atom. Now here it should be what? It should be mass of a given what? Molecule. That's it. Mass of a given molecule. Nothing else, right? Very similar. අරකේ තිබ්බ atom, මේකේ තියෙන molecule. අයියේ මේකේ MR නිසා. Right? That's it. So under third topic, write down this equation. මේවා හරි lazy, right? කම්මැලිද නෑනේ? Is it boring? නෑනේ. You have the morale or the motivation which you had in the beginning, right? තාම තියෙනවනේ නේ? I'll give you an interval at 10. තා පැයක් වගේ තියෙන 1 hour වගේ තියෙනවා. මේ කොහොම හරි කරමු. Write down this. Now what is a molecule? What is a molecule? Before we do a question, what is a molecule? මොකද molecule එක කියන ළමයි? What is a molecule? In textbook, carbon atom is. But what we did is correct actually. Yeah, combination of atoms, right? Combination of atoms. Now we'll figure it out first before we do a question. මේ ඕන එක clear ගන්න. You can write any of these in your note. Doesn't matter. There's no structure. දැන් මොන structures ළමයි? We have 3 weeks left, right? Write everything you want. හරි? Now here, if I'm taking this molecule, if I'm taking this, considering this molecule, right? How many atoms do we have here? In this molecule, how many atoms do we have? 3, right? It's 3. In this molecule, we have 3 atoms, 1 carbon atom and 2 oxygen atoms, right? Now, if they give you the mass of carbon, and if they give you the, let's say, I'll give you a simple expression. Let's say I'm saying that the mass of carbon atom is X, right? Mass of carbon atom, mass of carbon atom is how much? Is X. And then mass of oxygen atom, right? Oxygen atom is Y. Hari? Mass of carbon atom is X and mass of oxygen atom is Y. Then quickly tell me, what's the mass of this molecule? What is the mass of this molecule? Kiyada? Kiyada the mass of this molecule? Kiyada? Kiyada? Live එකේ ඉන්න ළමයි මේ you can confirm whether the live is visible, right? Whether you can see properly. If you have doubts, ask. If you have doubts, you can again put it on the live chat as well. I am watching both. right? Yeah, it's x plus 2y, right? Why? We know that the mass of carbon is x. Mass of carbon is x. And we have 2 oxygen atoms, therefore it's y into 2, right? Y into 2, which is 2y, and this is x. Therefore, the total mass should be x plus 2y. That's not a big deal, right? It's x plus 2y. Good. Since we understand this concept, we'll try to do a question. Okay. Put a Q and write. Put a Q and write. Small questions. Put a Q and write. Calculate the MR. Calculate the MR. Right? Calculate MR of ammonia. How to write ammonia? In NH3. Calculate the MR of ammonia. Calculate the MR of ammonia. In brackets, write. In brackets, write. Mass of a nitrogen atom. Mass of a nitrogen atom. Mass of a nitrogen atom is 2.32 or else 33 into 10 to the power minus 23 grams. This is mass of a nitrogen atom. And mass of hydrogen atom is 1.67 into 10 to the power minus 24. Okay. Quickly try to calculate. Since you are not frequently using logbooks, I assume that normally for questions, they give answers which they give data which will easily simplify. Since these are not easily simplifying, you can use your calculator if you want. Like assuming that they will give normal data which easily simplifies, right? Otherwise, don't use the cal. And for A levels, it's prohibited to use the cal even in classes. අපි class වලත් පාවිච්චි කරන්නේ නැහැ. That's not good. Right. So the question was calculate the MR of NH3, mass of nitrogen, one nitrogen atom, and mass of one hydrogen atom is this. Okay. Try to calculate this one. You need to think. The question is not that direct now. පොඩ්ඩ පොඩ්ඩ වැඩි කරනවා අපි මේක. හරි? Give me the answer quickly. No, N is 14 and H is 1 for us. Student, you have not still understood the concept. That's not the mass of one atom. We haven't still got up to that point. N is 14 and H is 1 is something else. We'll do that later. තාම එතනට ආවෙත් නැහැ අපි. හරි? යන්න බලන්න. Quickly tell me the answer. Can I have few answers? ඇති වෙලා ඇති. ටක් ගාලා දුමු. We have. I can't figure out the answer. So you have dishes නේ. කට්ටි dishes තියෙනවා. හරි. ඒක හදාගෙන තමයි ඇවිත් ඉන්නේ. It's okay. Now what do you want to do first? I'll help you now. The first thing you need to do is you need to calculate the mass of the molecule. Now what's the molecule which we are talking? මොකද්ද අපි දැන් කතා කරන molecule එක? What is the molecule? What is the molecule? Yeah, it's NH3, right? It's NH3. Okay. Then if it is NH3, if it is NH3, how are we going to calculate the mass of NH3? Quickly tell me, how are we going to calculate the mass of NH3? One atom of NH3, the mass of, sorry, one molecule, not atoms, one molecule of NH3. Now, you know what's the difference between a molecule and an atom, right? Carbon is atom, oxygen is atom, carbon dioxide is a molecule. Now here, nitrogen is atom, hydrogen is atom, NH3 or ammonia is a molecule, right? Now my first question is, since they are asking about the MR, we need to calculate the mass of a given molecule. Now the given molecule is NH3. So we need to calculate the mass of NH3. How are we going to calculate it? කොහොමද calculate කරන්නේ? No, not that. ඒක තමයි කියන්නේ. ඔයගොල්ලෝ you haven't understood the concepts. Exactly. හරි? මේ බලන්න. This N is 14 and H is 1 is something else, students. This is something else. ඒකට පස්සේ එනවා අපි. Right? We have done. I'll clarify that later. හරි? But now what I want here is this is not the mass of one atom. This is not the mass of one atom. Sorry, one molecule. හරි? ඕගොල්ලෝ අර හැමදාම මේක හදන හින්දා you don't know the concepts properly. Now here we want to calculate the mass of. හොඳට අහගන්න, right? Mass of one molecule of ammonia. One molecule of ammonia. Which is, now here, now you got this, right? Metin, how did you calculate the mass of one carbon dioxide molecule? They have given the mass of carbon, which was X. They had given the mass of oxygen, which was Y. So we added this X and 2Y because we had 2, and then we got it as X plus 2Y. Now here we are considering ammonia. We have one nitrogen atom. So the mass of one nitrogen atom is this. Grams plus we have 3 hydrogen atoms. Therefore the mass of 3 hydrogen atoms is thrice as this. We need to multiply this by 3. Why? Because we have 3 hydrogen atoms. So then it's 3. Don't study questions. That's why you don't know these answers. Sorry, මේ ඔක්කොම syllabus එකේ තියෙනවා, right? Check your textbook. Everything is on the textbook. You can hear me, ne? Right. Okay. Is it audible now? Okay, sorry, yeah. Right. Okay. So you got the answer, right? You got the answer, Harne? If always let me know when you have a technical delay. Hari, technical issues can happen. Right. Right, so shall I explain it again? So what we did was, now we are supposed to calculate the mass of one molecule of ammonia. Right, we are supposed to calculate the mass of one molecule of ammonia. Then what we are going to do is, now they had given the mass of one nitrogen atom. This is the mass of one nitrogen atom. Is it clear? This is the mass of one nitrogen atom, which is this. This is the mass of one hydrogen atom. We need to multiply it by 3. Why are we multiplying it by 3? Simply because we have 3 hydrogen atoms. Right? Simply because we have 3 hydrogen atoms. Is that clear? තුනක් තියෙන නිසා. Then you need to simplify this and get the answer. I just simplified this, just a simplification. So now we have the mass of one molecule of ammonia. Is that clear? We'll do another question as well. Right? Is that clear? Do you want me to explain the last step, which means this step? How to add these two? So how are we supposed to add these two? It's 2.33 into 10 to the power minus 23 plus 5.01 into 10 to the power minus 24. Okay, how are we going to simplify this? Can someone explain? Good question. How can we simplify this? How are we going to simplify this? We haven't got the final answer. Final answer. Check how to get the final answer. May make gun again. Good, good. Yes, you can do it either way, the way you prefer. I prefer it this way. So I am writing this, I am not changing this one. Instead, I am writing this one like this. Check whether this is understandable. Right? O level. Right? O level, sorry. Right? So it's 0.501 into 10 to the power minus 23. You can write this like this. I just divided this part by 10 and multiplied this part by 10. The same thing, right? The same effect. Is that clear? Ne? Then I am going to, since the powers are equal now, since the powers here are equal, then I can add these two together. Then it will be 2.831 into 10 to the power minus 23. I just added this part with this part. It's clear, right? Okay, good. Now we have it. Now this is in grams. Now we actually obtain this part. Where is it? Mass of a given molecule. This part is obtained. Mass of a given molecule is obtained. We obtain the mass of ammonia. We obtain the mass of ammonia. Now we need to divide it by the atomic mass unit, which we know, right? Now quickly divide this by the atomic mass unit. Now you will see a familiar answer. Now we have the mass of ammonia, right? MR is equal to, now in this case, it's mass of ammonia divided by the atomic mass unit. Okay. Now we have mass of ammonia 2.831 into 10 to the power minus 23 grams. 10 to the power minus 23 grams divided by the atomic mass atomic mass unit 1.67 into 66 into 10 to the power minus 24 grams. Right? Okay. Now is that number familiar? Is that number familiar? Is that number familiar? Is that number familiar? Okay, yeah, it's 17, right? It's almost 17. That's what you were concerned about. 2.831 divided by 1.66 is 17.05, right? It's 17.05 no units. Now, this is that 17 which you were worrying about, right? 14 for nitrogen, 1 for hydrogen, then it's 17. This is that. This is the relative, relative molecular mass. Now, what you do is they give you the 14s and 1s, and then you know how to calculate. But without giving those, they can simply give the masses and ask you to do that. You might not have done a lot of questions like this, but that's on your textbook. Make a textbook, right? So you need to do it like this as well. So we have completed 3 topics. Just to make sure that we are okay with it, we'll do one more example. Right? We'll do another one. If this is clear, put it on the chat whether this is clear. Is this clear? Divided by 0.16. Yeah. Okay, it's clear, right? Okay. Now then we'll do another question. I'll send a Google form for all the suggestions and all the questions which I could not reply, right? මට miss වුණොත් මොන හරි. Don't worry about it. හරිද? Right. Put a Q and write, put a Q and write. Let's say calculate the MR or the relative molecular mass. Calculate the MR of calculate the MR of ethanol. Calculate the MR of ethanol. Ethanol is C2H5OH. Calculate the MR of ethanol. Hari, calculate the MR of ethanol. Calculate the MR of ethanol. In brackets, write. In brackets, write. In brackets, write. Sorry. In brackets, write. Mass of hydrogen atom. Mass of a hydrogen atom. Hydrogen atom. කලින් දුන්න නේද? Mass of hydrogen atom is how much? 1.67 into 10 to the power minus 24. 24 grams. That's mass of hydrogen atom. Then mass of oxygen atom. It's 2.66 into 10 to the power minus 23. For carbon, it's 1.99 into 10 to the power 23. All are in grams, right? All are in grams, right? Quickly do the question. You can use the calculator if you want now. Don't waste time for simplifications now. No need. Try to tell the relative molecular mass of ethanol. Agak karo. Can you take H5? Yeah. Pull. No, it's not 6.7. 6 වෙන්න බෑනේ. එච්චර පොඩි වෙන්න බෑනේ. No, okay. This is the. Now you are sending me the answer for the question which I did not ask you, right? Now you are sending me the mass of the molecule. I don't want the mass of the molecule. I want the relative mass number, or the relative mass. What is it? Relative molecular mass. Now we are getting answers. Okay, good, good. Okay, good. So you can easily do this. I won't do the entire question. So what you can do is here, we have 2 carbon atoms. Therefore, multiply this by 2. Multiply this by 2. Then add, how many hydrogens do we have? We have 5 hydrogens here and we have 1. Altogether, we have 6 hydrogens. Therefore, do this. Then add oxygen, which is this. 2.66 into 10 to the power minus 23 into 1, because we only have 1 oxygen atom. Then this is the answer most of students send, but that's not what I want. You need to calculate this and divide this by the what? Atomic mass unit, which is 1.67 into 10 to the power minus 24. All are in grams. This is in grams and this is in grams. Therefore, both will get cancelled out. So I got answers correctly. I think it's 46.0 something. It's 46.0 something. Check. Right? 46.0 something. Check. 08 or 03 or something. It's 03. Some are sending 03, some are sending 08. Check. It's 1.66. Ne? Sorry. We'll use that value 1.66. Right. Check. That doesn't matter. No units, huh? No units. Right. So then we have spent roughly about 1 hour and 15 minutes. No, 1 hour. 8:30 1 hour. Okay. Then we'll write the 4th concept. Now the easier concepts are done. Lazy right? Easier concepts are done. Write the 4th subtopic. Write the 4th subtopic. Avogadro constant. The 4th subtopic. What is the 4th one? Avogadro constant. Now from here onwards, pay careful attention, right? Avogadro constant. This concept was found by a scientist named Amado Avogadro. Amado Avogadro. Right? This is the scientist's name. Before I explain you, we'll quickly write down the definition. Right? Before you explain, before I explain, I'll quickly write down read you the definition. Then we can explain it, right? Right, okay, right. Number of atoms. Number of atoms. Sorry, number of atoms. In any element. In any element. Number of atoms in any elements. Right, number of atoms in any element. When a sample number of atoms in any element when a sample when a sample which is equal to the relative atomic mass, which is equal to the relative atomic mass, which is equal to the relative atomic mass, the number of atoms of any element in a sample which is equal to the relative atomic mass is known as the Avogadro number. Is known as the Avogadro number. Is known as the Avogadro number. If you want, you can make it more clear. The number of atoms which contains, writing which contains, number of atoms which contains in any element, with a sample size, right? Number of atoms which contains in any element with a sample size, which is equal to the relative atomic mass. Now it's much clearer, right? In a sample size which equals to the relative atomic mass is known as the Avogadro number or the Avogadro constant or the Avogadro constants. No need to memorize it. Just get an idea. Even in O levels, they won't directly say explain the Avogadro constant. Can you repeat? Okay, I'll repeat. The number of atoms which contains in a given element with a sample size of its relative atomic mass. Its relative atomic mass is known as the Avogadro number. Is known as the Avogadro number. Sorry. Now I repeated the definition thrice. All three were different, right? Why is that? Because we don't memorize those, right? We only have a rough idea on what is the Avogadro number, and accordingly we rearrange the words and write. So it's not strict. You need to have the idea and you can write it in your own words. Then they will give marks. In A levels, we expect that. Even for O levels, they don't expect you to write the strict definition. Right? So the basic idea is, now reading that you will get the basic idea. What's the basic idea, students? The basic idea is very easy. The basic idea is that let's say we are considering a certain element. Let's say we are considering carbon, right? Let's say, or else much more simpler one. Let's say we are considering helium, right? Helium. And then the relative atomic mass of helium is 4, right? Relative atomic mass of helium is 4. So if you take 4 grams, so you need to take that relative atomic mass in grams, right? In grams. If you take 4 grams, then the amount of atoms of helium in that 4 grams is known as the Avogadro number. Is that clear? So if you take 4 grams of helium, and then if you count how many atoms do we have inside that 4 grams, then that is known as the Avogadro number, right? That is known as the Avogadro number. Clear neda? Eකට thamai api Avogadro number එක කියලා කියන්නේ. The amount. Now, you go to the shop and buy 4 grams of helium, and then you put it on the table, and then you somehow start counting the number of atoms. All the helium atoms inside that 4 gram, in that 4 grams. මේ ඔක්කොම ටික ගණන් කරනවා. Then the number which you are getting is known as the Avogadro number. It's really large, therefore we don't have a number which we use in day-to-day life. Therefore, that number is known as the Avogadro number, or else the Avogadro constant. Since that's a constant number, we name it as the Avogadro constant. Is that clear? What is it? Chat then, is it clear? Now, can you write it in your own words? Okay, good. Is it clear? Is it clear? Chat okay, it's clear, right? Okay, good. So it needs to be clear. Hari, always try to communicate with me, right? Now, try to write it in your own words. So, right? The number of atoms which contains, right? Number of atoms which contain. Now we'll try to like sharpen our definition. Rough definition, and then we'll try to add few other points as well, right? Now read your definition with me. Number of atoms which contains, right, number of atoms which contains for any given element with a sample size equal to the relative atomic mass, right? With the sample size equal to the relative atomic mass, right? But you need to mention that the relative atomic mass should be given in, so the sample size should be given in grams, right? The sample size should be, no need to write it under the definition, but you need to know that. Now, if the relative atomic mass is 4, then you need to consider a sample size of 4 grams. If the relative atomic mass is 16, then you need to consider a sample size of 16 grams. Because for relative atomic mass, we don't have a unit, if you can remember, right? So no need to memorize those definitions, just get an idea. Put the idea, yeah. Right? Okay, good. Then we'll move on to questions. Now, before that, what is this constant? The Avogadro number, the Avogadro constant, or else it's symbolized as L, Avogadro constant, or else we can write Na. Both are the same symbol for Avogadro constant, which is 6.023 into 10 to the power 23. This is a constant. Okay, write that down. This is the important part, not the definition. Definition not that important. Ari? Write that down. This is the Avogadro constant. This is the Avogadro constant. Is that clear? Okay, now I'll 6.022 correct. Yeah, it's 0.22. We use both. Use this. It's 6.022 in 10 to the power 23, right? Okay. Is that clear, Harineda? Right. Now, what do we have? What do we have after that? Hari. I'll give you a small interval in 15 more minutes, right? Try to give you a maximum focus. We have almost finished 4 subsections of 5. Afterwards, we will be doing questions directly. Hari, I'll try to finish the entire tude. Hari. Now here, okay, I'll ask you a few questions. Now, this understanding is way more important than knowing the definition. Definitions, they don't give you definitions. So if especially in science and maths, they don't care about definitions, right? They ask questions. They check your understanding. Hari. Now, let's say that I have a sample of carbon dioxide. I have 44 grams of carbon dioxide. Or else we'll start from elements. I have, let's say, I have, say carbon. I have carbon. I have 12 grams of carbon. A sample of 12 grams of carbon, and that they have given that the relative atomic mass, right? The relative atomic mass of carbon is 12, right? So this is my sample size. This is my sample size. This is the AR, relative atomic number, or the relative atomic mass. Then, is it not minus 20? No, it's 23. It's not minus 23. It's 23. It's a very big number. If it is minus 23, it's very, very small. Then it's even less than 1. It's 23. All right. So we have this, right? This is the sample size. This is the AR. Now what I want is number of atoms. Number of atoms. Quickly tell me the number of atoms. How many atoms do we have? Tell me the answer. They have given me a sample size of 12 grams and the AR is 12. Then how many atoms do we have? How many atoms? No. How many atoms? Not one. Good. Not one, right? ඔය තමයි concepts වල අවුල් තියෙන. ඔන්න concepts වල අවුල් වෙනවා එළියට. That's not one, right? It's you are telling that one is number of moles. We haven't even done that. I am asking how many atoms do we have? How many atoms do we have? This much. That was the definition. This much atoms we have. Again, read the definition. Right? If you have a sample size in grams, if you have a sample in grams which is equal to the relative atomic mass, then you have a Avogadro number of atoms. Isn't that the definition? Definition that's the definition, right? So you need to know this. Forget about the definition. If the sample size is equal to AR, then you have this much of atoms. It's right. Hari, is that clear? මේ පොඩි දේවල් නම් මේවා පටලවා ගන්න එපා. Write a clear note. හරි, එතකොට පැටලෙන්නේ නැහැ ළමයි. Right. Then tell me, if you have, let's say, 36 grams of carbon, and then if the AR is again 12, how many atoms do we have? I don't want the final answer. Send me an expression. How many atoms do we have? Now, if we had 12 grams, this is the answer. For 36, how much? Yeah, you need to multiply this by 3. That's it, ne? මෙයාව 3ෙන් වැඩි කරන්න. සරයි. You need to multiply this by 3. Very easy. නේද? හරි. Good. Then another question. Right, another question. Let's say that I have silver. The AR of silver is given as 108. I have 216 grams of silver. I have 216 grams of silver. Then how much atoms do I have of silver? Good. Yes, exactly. 2 multiplied by this number, right? Now you get the idea. Then now is it easy? Let's see why. If we had 108 grams of silver, then we will have only this much. But since we have twice as that, we need to multiply that by 2. Right? Right? Right. So that's easy, right? We'll do one more example. Tell me. Carbon තියෙනවා, silver තියෙනවා. Let's say I have sodium. Right? I have sodium. The relative mass is given as 23. If I have this much of atoms, 5 times this, then tell me quickly, what is the sample size? What is the sample size? So do you? Yeah, you can write. It's 115, right? Why? Since you have 5 times of this, if you had 23 here, then this will only be this much. But since it is multiplied by 5, you know it's 115 grams, ne? Amaruda? Naneda? Is it difficult? No, it's not difficult, right? We'll do one more. Another, only one. Let's say that I have a sample of potassium and I have 117 grams of that sample, right? I have 117 grams of that sample. Yeah. Then I have this much of atoms. What is the AR? What is the AR? Yeah, it's 39, right? It's 39. Now you get it. Then pay on in the pattern. Then go better in the bay. Right. Then you know last answers. Right. To understand the theory which we have learned now, if you want, you can write this down. Put it there. Instead of writing this entire part, you can write this as 3NA or 3L. Doesn't matter. Right. Okay. If you want, you can write this down. Meanwhile, you can ask questions. So for instance, if we have 32 grams of oxygen, so I'll explain that. We are still considering about elements, only elements. Pagalimu. හරි? හරි? Is it clear? ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා නම් දාන්න. මම ඔයගොල්ලන් ලියාගෙන වෙලා දීලා. Just don't copy the board. Understand what's happening and then write it down. හරි? නිකන් බලන් ලියන්න එපා වැඩක් නැහැ ළමයි. හරි. Now there was a question asking about the mass of oxygen, right? There was a question asking about mass of oxygen. So did you mean O or did you mean O2? Was it O or was it O2? Some students ask about the mass of oxygen. The same, can't we do it for oxygen? Can't we think for oxygen? So is it for O or is it for O2? මොකටද ඇහුවේ? මොකටද ඇහුවේ? For O2, right? For O you can do this. For this one you can do. මේක අවුලක් නැහැ. The same like sodium and everything, ne? Doesn't matter. But for this one, right? For this one, can we say AR? No, we can't say AR, ne? Because this is not atomic. This is not atom. Then if you are considering this, then you need to write it as MR, the relative what? The relative molecule mass. Then again, you can do the same calculation. Doesn't matter. But this concept will be learned under the concept of mole or the concept of molar mass, right? So it will be learned as the next topic. But still, if you want, you can write it here. Doesn't matter. The same concept is in our textbook. They have divided it to make your life easy. That's it. So for this one, the answer is yes. It's same as this. Then the relative atomic mass here will be 16. Here the relative molecular mass will be 32 because we have to, we'll do the calculation, but for the to answer the question. But this part will be done in the next subtopic. Hari neda? Right. So for this one, you know this is 16, and if you get 16 grams of this, then there will be one Avogadro number, which is this much. Hari. If you have 32, then this will be multiplied by 2. Hari. Doesn't matter. Hari. So that's it for the fourth topic as well. And then we have the fifth topic. Right? Shall we finish that before getting an interval, or shall we get an interval and finish that? What do you want to do? Having interval? Finish this. Okay. Right. Okay, good. Right. Then we'll finish that. Write the fifth subtopic and write the fifth subtopic. So this is the final topic. We will be finishing the entire unit and then we'll try to do questions. Hari? That's the important part actually. Okay. The fifth topic is mole. That's the main one, ne? Mole. The fifth topic is mole. Right. We'll quickly write down the definition which is given on your textbook. No need to remember those. You can just slightly remember if they ask in case, but generally definitions aren't the priority. But we'll just write. I'll repeat your resource, your textbook actually. Mole is the amount. Mole is the amount. Mole is the amount of a substance. Mole is the amount of a substance that contains as many. Video is blurred. Really? Is the video blurred? That we can't fix. So once the signal resolve, it's not okay. Thanks. If the video is blurred, it will fix quickly, right? Like a signal issue, I can't do anything. Ne? But if it's really blurred, then inform me. I'll try to switch it blurred. Ne? Then what did I say? The mole is the amount. Mole is the amount of a substance that contains as many basic building units as there are. Mole is the amount of substance that contains as many basic building units as there are atoms in exactly 12 grams of carbon, as there are atoms in exactly 12 grams of carbon 12 isotope. Carbon 12 isotope. Right? I'll repeat, the mole is the amount of substance that contains as many basic building units as there are atoms in exactly 12 grams of carbon 12 isotope. Right? Is it enough? So you need to understand the definitions aren't that like sensible. Definitions are a little bit confusing. No need to bother about those. You just need to have the idea. That's it. And in brackets, they have said, what are basic building units? Building units are, now if you are constructing a building, what are the building units? Cement, sand, stones. Those are the basic building units. Concrete is built using those. Something like that. The buildings, the bricks, basic building units. Now, what are the basic building units of chemistry or science? It's atoms, molecules, right? Atoms, molecules, or ions. Atoms, molecules, ions. Those are the basic building units. But if you don't know what basic building units are, these are the basic building units. Now, quickly read the definition, whether you even slightly understand it. Check whether you understand it. What is it? Okay, right. Now, the important part is the equation. The important part is the equation for the definition. What is the equation? Does anyone know? What is the equation to get the number of moles? What is the equation? N equals what? What is the equation? What's the equation? N equals M over capital M. Good. You normally know the equations. Equations don't know level. They don't know the concepts. Equations don't know. N is the number of moles. Simple M is the mass of the sample. Mass of the sample. What is capital M? What is capital M? What is capital M? What is capital M? Yeah, molar mass. Capital M is molar mass. Quickly write down this. Capital M is the molar mass. Capital M is the molar mass. Now it's easy to get the molar mass, right? So what is molar mass? Yeah, I'm going to explain it. Molar mass is simply mass of 1 mole. So it's a very basic equation, right? You can get the number of moles by dividing the mass by mass of 1 mole. හරිනේ නේ? එක mole එක mass එක, we have the mass of 1 mole, then we have the total mass. When we divide it, we get the number of moles. Easy as that. Now, how are we going to get the molar mass? The molar mass won't be given in your paper. Then what will they give? In your paper, they won't give the molar mass. What will they give? Tagal again. Some students think that they give the molar mass. They don't give the molar mass. What do they give? In your paper, they will give us the what? AR. The relative atomic or molecular mass. They will either give the AR or the MR. In your paper, if they give a question about NH3, if they give a question about ammonia, will they give N equals 14, H equals 1? Or will they give N equals 14 grams per mole, H equals 1 gram per mole? What will they give? එකද දෙකද? This is the first option, this is the second option. What do they give? Is it the first option or second option? They will give the first option, right? Then they will give the first option. Is this the molar mass? No, this is not the molar mass. This is what? This is the relative atomic mass, which we learn, which doesn't have any units. Units නෑ මේ. This is the relative atomic mass or the AR, which we learn. මෙන්න මෙයා. අර කලින් කතා කරේ. Right? Now, since they give this, you need to know that you might know this by practice, but you need to know it properly. If they give the relative atomic mass, you can just simply add this unit and then get the molar mass. Easy as that, right? If I revise it again, now if they said this is the relative atomic mass of, they won't even say that this is the relative atomic mass. They will just give this, which is the relative atomic mass, AR. Then you can write the capital M, the molar mass, which is 14 grams per mole. You just need to add this unit. එච්චරයි. මේ unit එක add කරගන්න එච්චරයි. Then if they give that carbon, the AR is 12, then the molar mass can be given by 12 grams per mole. You just simply need to add this unit. Even for MR, you can do this. MR, what is MR? The relative molecular unit. For molecules, this is for atoms, this is for molecules. Let's say carbon dioxide, they give this as 44. Then you can say the molar mass is 44 grams per mole. Is that clear? තේරෙනව නේද this relationship? You normally know this, you use this by practice, but you need to know it properly. හරි. So we learned the concept about mole. Write this equation, and under molar mass, put some side notes. Under that, you can write this. Right? You can write this. If they give you the AR, this is capital M. If they give you the MR, this is capital M. Simply using the unit. එච්චරයි. දාමු. දාගමටක් ගාලා. Check whether that's clear. හරිද තමයි. Okay, there's a question. So 14 grams mole is equal to 1 mole of. Yeah, I'll explain that. Is that where? MOL. Sorry, MOL. Grams per mole. This is the unit. Grams per mole. Right? Now we'll do one small or two small questions, and then theory is done. නිකන් theory නෙමෙයි කරේ, we covered theory, we revised theory with questions, right? පොඩි ප්‍රශ්න කරා to give you the better understanding. හරි, still we are done. මෙච්චරයි තියෙන්නේ. හරි, put a Q and write. If this is clear, put a Q and write. Put a Q and write. හරි, put a Q and write. So is that right? Put a Q and write. calculate. No, no, remember. No, okay. Consider a sample of, or else consider, let's say, 66. Consider 66 grams of carbon dioxide. 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 Roman number 1. Roman number 1. In brackets, they have given carbon as 12. This is what a normal question of your O level looks like. Ne? මේවනේ වැඩිපුර අහන්නේ අරව එච්චර අහන්නේ නැහැ නේද? හරි. So consider a sample of 66 grams of carbon dioxide. In brackets, they have given that. And then in Roman number 1, right? Calculate the molar mass of carbon dioxide. Calculate the molar mass of carbon dioxide. Molar mass. Calculate the molar mass of carbon dioxide. That's Roman number 1. Calculate the molar mass of carbon dioxide. Calculate the molar mass of carbon dioxide. Roman number 1. හරි නේද? ඊළඟට යනවා ටකල් ලියමු. Roman number 2. Calculate the number of moles of carbon dioxide. 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 Ready? Then the third one. Calculate the number of molecules of carbon dioxide. We are slowly building up a question, right? Calculate the number of molecules of carbon dioxide. Molar mass, number of moles, number of molecules of carbon dioxide. Right? Calculate the number of molecules of carbon dioxide. Sorry, 2 more questions. Find the number of carbon atoms. Find the number of carbon atoms. 5th one, find the number of oxygen atoms. Find the number of oxygen atoms. Okay. If you can answer this question, then your knowledge is okay. Hari? Is the question clear? Prashna clear lamai? The question clear? Do you want me to repeat? Or is it clear? Can someone confirm? Clear, right? Okay, thank you. Then what we are going to do is repeat the last question. So what's the second question? Okay, so I'll repeat from the beginning. Find the molar mass. Calculate the number of moles. Find the number of carbon dioxide molecules. Moles, molecules, right? Calculate the number of carbon atoms. Calculate the number of oxygen atoms. Harine? Molar mass, number of moles, number of molecules, carbon atoms, oxygen atoms. Hari? In this sample, we are considering this sample. Hari? Right, okay. Ehenang, what I want you to do is, Hari, we'll do like this. Now it's 10 minutes past 10. We'll have a small break, right? In the break, you can try to do this, or else you can refresh yourself, drink some water, podi raumak karagila enna. Hari, now podda kammalu wena hadanawane. Ehema thamai. That's normal human nature. Podi raumak dala enna. We'll start at starting at 10:25. Hari, we'll start at 10:25. Hari ne? I'll keep the meeting like this. I won't even switch off the camera. මෙහෙම තියන්නම්. If you have doubts, you can ask on the chat. I will be on the meeting. I can answer those. But for the others, you can leave the meeting and join. But make sure that you join. If you are not sure, then stay on the meeting. Don't leave the meeting. Hari? Students who are on the YouTube live, same procedure. We won't finish end the live. The live will be there. But you can have the interval and join at 10:25, right? Okay, then let's meet at 10:25. ටක් ගාලා එන්න. වතුර ටිකක් බිලෙන්. හරි. Meanwhile, ඔයාලට තියෙන ප්‍රශ්න මොනවද තියෙනවනම් අහලා ගන්න chat එකේ doesn't matter. And after the interval, we will be starting to do questions. Sorry, ටක් ගාලා ප්‍රශ්න ටික කරගෙන යනවා. මේ in the tube I have put all the O-level past paper MCQs to the tube and few more term test questions, good questions. So we'll try to discuss as much as possible, which will cover few more concepts which we didn't do here. Can directly more නෙවෙයි, but few more concepts. Right. ඒකින්ද ඊළඟ ටික තමයි important. හරි. Right. So we'll meet at 10:25. Okay, we'll start. There are a few messages before that. When will be the interval? That's okay. Hari karai then. Sir, do you do Edexcel? No, we actually do local syllabus A levels for chemistry. When do you do seminar on topics? Okay, okay. Everything will be informed on the group. And I'll just send a message to the group and then we'll start. Right. Any other questions? Someone question you? Have you decided on which subject subjects you are doing for your A levels? Nikang, is it possible to measure gases in moles? Yeah, it's possible. You can measure anything in moles. Not even in stuff in chemistry. Anything else also you can measure in moles. Now, if you want to measure your, let's say, number of friends in moles, you can do it. So you need to get the number of friends and divide it by the Avogadro number. Ne? So you can get the number of moles if you want, if you're interested. Now here, as I said that, I just remember this mega makala in your the textbook. For A levels, we have a resource book. We don't have textbooks for A levels. Okay, so even though they haven't, I like to do computer science. Maths without chemistry. Why you don't like chemistry? That's sad. No. Yeah, I'll inform you about our A-level classes, right? A-level classes gonna pass again. We will start our A-level classes for chemistry once your O-levels are finished. Hari? Meanwhile, I'll just send few details. I also sent few details previously about our results and everything which we have done up to now, right? As an English medium chemistry class, I'll inform those later. Just stay on the group. Chemistry compulsory for bio. No, you can do agree without doing. No, not agree. You can. For bio. Yeah, ne? I'm not sure. For maths, it's not compulsory. You can do ICT instead of chemistry. But for bio, I think you should be able. It's a very rare scenario. That's why I don't know. I want to become a music tech entrepreneur, but I don't know. Interesting. Bio, commerce, 50-50. Chemistry is hard. No, it's not. I want to be a music entrepreneur, music tech entrepreneur. That's interesting. Computer science or bioscience. So, computer science කරන්න maths physics chemistry පුළුවන් so ගොඩ ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවානේ not a good topic to discuss now we have a lot of questions now chances are less if we chose chemistry not true I lost all marks because of chemistry yeah for some students chemistry might be difficult but for A levels now if you are doing maths you can't get into engineering faculty without doing chemistry. There are certain restrictions, and even if you are doing bio, there are few restrictions if you are not planning to do chemistry. For all the other subjects, so if without doing physics, you can do agree. Again, then there will be few restrictions. I'll inform all those later now. And then if you are not actually interested in doing any of the streams, if you want to do business, then එහෙමත් options තියෙනවා. එහෙම ළමයි ඉන්නවනේ. They don't want to learn. ඒගොල්ලන්ට වැඩක් නැහැ. මේක ඉගෙන වැඩක් නැහැ. They want to do business. Then we need to approach that. එහෙමත් තියෙනවනේ. Right? So there are various categories of students and I am fully aware about all of those scenarios. Sorry. Then there can be students who want to do who wants to do let's say commerce but their parents want them to do maths or bio then there's another scenario then there can be students who want to do bio but their parents say to do maths. එහෙම එක එක තියෙනවා. And or else the friends are, or all of the friends are doing maths. ප්‍රශ්න ගොඩක් තියෙනවා when you are going to select your let's say stream, and අමුතු fields උත් තියෙනවා. You want to do music as a career, or else you want to do, let's say, aviation. මේ දාලා තියෙනවා as in the chat. හරි. එතකොට මොකද්ද කරන්න ඕනේ stream එක? Because in Sri Lanka we don't have direct pathways නේ. Now if you want to do aviation, what do you want to do? Maths or bio or commerce? දන්නේ නැහැ නේ. එහෙම relevant නැහැ නේ ඒකනේ. Then එතකොට මොකද්ද කරන්න stream එක? Then how are you going to select it? නේ. What's the procedure of going to government university? Is it not good to attend private universities? It was A levels කරන්න නැත්තම් මොකද කරන්නේ? It's a very vague topic, right? So we'll discuss those after your A levels are, sorry, O levels are done, and ඊට පස්සේ you need to figure out, is it doing now for some students, for now if your native language is English, then you will always do in English medium නේ. But there can be few students their native language is Sinhala. මම වගේ සිංහලෙන් කතා කරන්නේ, but I do English medium classes, right? සමහර students ලාට එහෙම තියෙනවා. Then some students think that doing in English medium has disadvantages, advantages. එතන වෙනම කතන්දර ටිකක් තියෙනවා, right? So we'll discuss those later. හරි. ඊට පස්සේ කතා කරමු. I just wanted to start the session එකම නියම පොඩි ප්‍රශ්නයක් ඇහුවේ. මේ ඔක්කොමට උත්තර දෙන්න. Now I have a rough idea on how you think for forensic is chemistry compulsory. I'm not sure. අමාරු ප්‍රශ්න යන්නේ ඔයගොල්ලෝ. Is it possible to study computer science by selecting commerce, accounting and IT? Yeah, some computer science degrees you can do by doing the commerce stream. Yeah. Now you have a lot of options, right? So you have you need to do your own research before selecting the stream which you are going to do, because it has a high probability of determining your future නේ. තේරෙනවනේ O levels වගේ නෙමෙයි. O levels වල now if you select the wrong bucket subject අකපැත්තෙන් හරි කරලා දාත හැකිනේ නේ. But for A levels you can't do that නේ. You need to be very specific on selecting which stream you need to do. Otherwise it will waste a lot of time and energy and with no result. තේරෙනවනේ. ඒක හින්දා it's an important decision. I'll guide you on that. We'll do it later. But හරි. නිකන් හැව මාරගොඩ ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා මේ. Now I have a clear idea on how students think. Yeah, true. But if you are English medium students, you will have to attend English medium classes. අපි පස්සේ කතා මේක දැන් සමහර students ලා ඉන්නවා එහෙම that their native language is Sinhala, but they want to do English medium because of future career එකේ ideas තියෙනවා to go abroad අනම්මනම් කතන්දර හින්දා. But for some students, Sinhala medium might be like they think that it's easy to understand Sinhala. එතකොට මොකද කරන්නේ? Is it good to attend English medium classes or is it good to attend Sinhala medium classes? ප්‍රශ්න ගොඩක් තියෙනවා. Then some can say, even though you understand Sinhala properly, you will have to write the answers in English. Then it's better to attend English medium. එහෙම ඒක ලොකු කතාවක්. හරිද? We'll discuss those later. And regarding the physics seminar, right? I informed you before starting today's session, right? Now, since most of the students requested to have a physics seminar, I spoke with one of my friends who is doing physics A-level classes. You might know by now, I don't know. And his name is Janidu Leelananda, right? His name is Janidu Leelananda. He agreed to conduct a free physics seminar for you students, right? And all the information will be shared on my group, and then you will be directed to that group as well, right? So we together will try to do a lot before your O levels, and this seminar will be starting on Friday. I think, I'm not sure that he did not confirm that, but I will inform everything today. As soon as possible, I will inform everything, right? තේරෙනවද? physics වලට ඔයාට ඒ ටික cover කරගන්න පුළුවන්, and upon your request he will cover the most important parts. මම කරන වැඩේම physics වලට එයා කරයි, right? Okay. I think that's clear. හරිනේ? මොනමුත් ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවද? Yeah, you can get. For biology, I don't know whether I can arrange a seminar. We'll see. I can't promise. I promise to physics නේ ඒක මම කරලා දුන්නා. We'll see whether we can හරි. හරි. Right, then shall we continue? Tute එක කරමුනේ. Right. Now here live එක හරිද? It's difficult to manage all of these. For live එක. Okay. Let's check. Live is going smoothly. No issues. Sorry. Question tute එක දුන්නේ group එකට. Do you want me to send it again? Shall I send it again? The WhatsApp groups වල තියෙන issue එක තමයි that you can't see the previous messages නේ. I'll just resend. So I might be repeating the same message. Just ignore it, right? We have no solution for that. We can create a WhatsApp channel. ඊට පස්සේ ඔයා බලන්නේ නැහැ නේ. You won't check your WhatsApp channels බලන්නේ නැහැ නේ. No point. හරිද? Telegram is the best option, but most of students don't use Telegram. Therefore, I can't help. I reshared the PDF. I hope you are on the WhatsApp group now, so you can get it. Right. Right. Okay. Question. Okay. That question. මේක I reshare කරන්න ඕනෙත් නැහැ නේ. Doesn't matter. I just reshared it. Question එකක් දුන්නා කලින් නේ. Yeah, so I forgot. Completely forgot. මේක අපි අයින් කරලා දාමු. හරි. Sorry. Completely forgot. So we'll quickly discuss that question and then this is the question, ne? This is the question, right? Thank you for reminding me. මතකම වෙලා ගියා. We'll quickly discuss this question and we'll quickly discuss the tute. Hari. Now in this question, we'll finish at 12. කිව්වා වගේම we have 1.5 hours. මේක ටක් ගාලා discuss කරා tute එක කරගෙන ගියා. හරි? Right. Okay. Did you get the answers? Answers ගත්තද? Quickly send me the answers. I won't do the entire calculation. I just want to check whether you got the answers. ටක් ගාලා answer 7 set එකට. I gave you enough time. අපි කතා කර දැන් හිටියානේ 10:35 වෙලා, right? Okay, capital M is 44. Good. Capital M is 44. So how did you get this? You simply got the MR, right? These are the ARs. May ARs ne relative atomic masses. By adding these, you got the MR as 44. It's just 44, no unit. And then you just added this unit and then you can get the molar mass, capital M. Right, it's 44. And then you can get the number of moles by how? How are you going to get the number of moles? Number of moles is given by the mass divided by the molar mass, which is it's 44 grams per mole. Sorry, the other way, 44 grams per mole divided by the mass. What's the mass? 66 grams. Then once you divide it, you will get 1.5 moles. Is that clear? Hari answer sela dinona hari 1. Always write the units are 1.5 කියලා ලියන්න එපා. chat එකට ඒකට ගමන් නැහැ, but write units. Sorry, they give marks for units. මේ units වලට they will give marks, right? That's the number of moles. So this is done. මේක හරි. නේද? හරි. Then the number of molecules. The number of molecules. How to get the number of molecules? Quickly tell me now. We know the number of moles. Then how to get the number of molecules? How to get the number of molecules? That I did not teach you. I wanted you to think about that. කොහොමද ඒක ගත්තේ? How to get the number of molecules? ටක් ගාලා කියන්න බලන්න. How to get the number of molecules? Okay. Few answers. How to get the number of molecules? How many molecules? Okay, if you have got the answer, I wanted you to think this using the theory which we have learned. Now, if you are unable to think, just remember what I am saying for the moment. දැනට ඇති. හරි. සමහර ළමයි හිතලා තිබ්බ. Some were able to figure out how to get the number of molecules, but if not, right? If not, you can use this. You can use this equation. Do you have this equation for your O levels? Directly, I don't know whether you have it, but in the textbook this is not given, but I think you are supposed to know this. Do you know this equation? Is this given? මේක දෙනවද O levels වලට? Yes or no? No. Okay, good. මේක දෙන්නේ නැහැ. This won't be given directly. They expect you to understand it, or else you can write n is equal to n over capital L, because Na and L both are the same. Now, if they give you the number of moles, if you give the number of moles, you can find the number of molecules. This is the number of molecules. N is the number of molecules. By multiplying it by the Avogadro number. So if I substitute capital M, capital N, then this is N times Na. Don't write this equation in your paper, but you can use it. මේක ලියන්න එපා, because this is not on your syllabus, right? This is just a tip from me. මම පොඩි උදව්වක් කරන්න මේ. This is easy. No need to think a lot then. So the number of molecules can be given by multiplying the number of moles by the Avogadro number. You, for students who figured out how to get it using the theory, you still did this. ඔයාත් මේකම තමයි කරලා තියෙන්නේ in a longer way. So you can easily write this. No need to write the equation. Just write the number of moles. You can write it on your note, but don't write it in your paper. In your paper, write the number of molecules is equal to the number of moles into the Avogadro constant. That's it. Into the Avogadro constant. That's easier. හිතේ තින්න දෙයක් නැහැ. ටක් ගාලා මේකෙන් ගත හැකියි. හරි. But don't write this. මේක ලියන්න එපා. හරි. In A levels, we use this. This is just a simple equation. I don't know whether why it's not being given. කමක් නැහැ ඉතින්. So here, when you are asked to calculate the number of molecules, how can we do it? You can easily find capital N by the number of moles is 1.5 and the Avogadro number is 6.022 into 10 to the power 23. Simplify this and get the answer. Right? අන්න මගේ ගානේ පොඩි gift එකක් මේක. පොඩි hint එකක්. පොඩි easy lazy trick එකක් නේ. You can multiply that and get the answer. It will be 9.033 into 10 to the power 23. No unit නේ, number of molecules නේ. Unit එකක් ඕනේ. දැන් ආයෙවා හිර වෙන්නේ නැහැ ඔයගේ ප්‍රශ්නවල මේක තියෙන නිසා. Question: how should we do this on paper? So just simply, if they ask this on paper, don't write this, right? Just write the number of molecules is equal to number of moles multiplied by the Avogadro constant. That you figured out. What are you? You can write. Don't write the equation. Then they know that then they know you found out. Now, normally, if you know something which is not expected in all levels, if you know something more advanced, they should give marks. If they might not give marks, we don't know, no need to take a risk. Just don't write it in symbols, write it in words. Then they will give marks. That in a way that you may make it feel that you figured it out. The number of molecules equal to the number of moles into Avogadro constant. Even for number of atoms, you can do it. This is a molecule. Carbon dioxide is a molecule. Therefore, number of molecules equal number of moles into the Avogadro constant. Simple. මේ වගේ පොඩි පොඩි දේවල් තියෙනවා in A levels which they don't teach in O levels. I don't know why. Makes your life difficult. දැන් මේකෙන් වැඩේ ලේසි නේද? නැත්තම් ගොඩක් හිතන්න ඕනේ නේද? It's difficult, right? These are very easy. For electrochemistry, there's a lot. Barnum electrochemistry, most of us don't study everything. In A levels, we study nothing. හරි? බලන්නකෝ ඊළඟ සෙමිනාරේ කොච්චර improve වෙනවද කියලා වගේ electrochemistry. Right, so you get it, ne? Now we have the number of molecules. Now they are asking the number of carbon atoms and number of oxygen atoms. Okay, now looking at this is the number of, I'll rewrite the question. Now, by now we know number of carbon dioxide molecules. 9.033 into 10 to the power 23. Using this, I want you to answer number of carbon atoms and the number of oxygen atoms. Okay, quickly answer the question. Ragala answer kara. Ragala giyan answers tika. I don't want you to simplify, just send me the expression, that's enough. Ragala. Do we have answers? Struggle again. Now we have this much of carbon dioxide molecules and I'm asking how much of carbon atoms do we have? Now tell me, in one carbon dioxide molecule, how many carbon atoms do we have? In one, it's one, right? Good. Then in carbon dioxide, one dioxide molecule, how many oxygen atoms do we have? It's two, right? If we have one carbon dioxide molecule, we have one carbon atom. If we have one carbon dioxide molecule, we have two oxygen atoms. Is it clear? Right. Then if we have 20 carbon dioxide molecules, we have 20 carbon atoms and 40 oxygen molecules. So you need to simply multiply that number by 1 to get the carbon, 2 to get oxygen. Then you have this much of carbon dioxide molecules. Then to get the number of carbon atoms, you can write it the same answer. Neither. If we to get the answer for oxygen, you need to multiply it by 2. 9.033 into 10 to the power 23 multiplied by 2. Why? We have 2 of these. That's easy. Keep this question. This is a very important question, right? Everything regarding mole is being summarized here. Use If you have doubts, quickly ask. Because we are going to switch to the tute. You have issues? Can you give another question like this? Okay, we'll find these type of questions in the tute. So we can write it as 18.066 into 10 to the power 23. You can now here. So you can multiply this and write 18.066 into 10 to the power 23. If you write this, they will give marks. This is not incorrect. But the proper way of writing this is 1.8066 into 10 to the power 24. Why? Why is this the proper way? Does anyone know? You will give marks. What's the difference? What's the difference? What's the difference here? Yeah, this is the scientific notation. The scientific notation states that this number should be a number between 1 and 10. This is not, but this is correct, right? This is correct, but they have a definition. Otherwise, some can write like this. 180.66 into 10 to the power 22. Then someone can write 1806.6 into 10 to the power 21. Then using the scientific notation, no point again. That's why we are using this. Well, if you write this, they will give marks. So another students ask for asked to give another question. So what you want to do is simply may write down the same questions. Instead of 66, make this, let's say, 540 grams. Make this 540 grams and make this C6H12O6. H12O6. Then do the same questions. Make this 540, make this C6H12O6, then the AR of hydrogen is 1. Then you will have another question. This is that, right? So make this 540, write this C6. What is this? What is C6H12O6? In all of us, you know, right? What is C6H12O6? Glucose, right? Good. Then you can do another question if you want. Hurry. ප්‍රශ්නයක් කාලා තියෙනවා A level maths O level එකේ කොච්චර ලොකුද capacity එක. For me, honestly, A levels were more interesting than O levels, right? I did not honestly like the subjects which I had to study. I don't know whether you like it or not, but for me, A levels were much more interesting and easy, being honest. But the difference between A level and O level is simply A level is continuous work. That's it. That's the only difference. A level is not difficult thing. But the result percentages are low simply because students aren't willing to work in a consistent base for 3 years or roughly 2.5 years. It's then O level for your term test, you study roughly 2 weeks. But that's it. It was after your term test, no one knows what they even wrote in your papers. For even O levels, you started working very recently. For most students, that's the case. But still, you will survive. O level, but if you still put the effort, if you put the maximum effort for these 3 weeks, still you can get a really good result. That's the truth. O level is built like that. But for A levels, you can't think. A levels you can't do anything. You can't do anything. You can't never imagine that scenario. But then if you are willing to do A levels properly, then it's not difficult. Not only A level maths and bio, for all the streams, now all A level maths and bio are difficult, other streams aren't. All streams are difficult. Right? Commerce, arts, tech, all streams are difficult. The syllabus, the size of the syllabus can change, but then you will adapt accordingly. The only thing is you need to work continuously. There's a significant, you need to change your lifestyle from O level to A level. It doesn't matter which stream you do. Right? Sorry. Hari, අපි ඔය පස්සේ කතා කරමු. හරි, දැන් එන්න ටියුට් එකට. It's 10:52. පැයක් වගේ දිනනවා. පැයකට සුට්ටක් වැඩියෙන් දිනනවා. That's enough. හරි. We'll start doing the tute. From question number 1, I'll continue. Hari, from question number 1, I'll continue. I am trying to discuss all the questions. I want to give you a proper idea about this topic. Then you can do the rest. Hari, මෙතන තියෙන්නේ in this tute we have the majority of these questions are from your past papers, recent past papers, right? The direct questions. මේ තියෙන්නේ the direct questions which they can ask from the concept of mole, but a lot of questions will be asked indirectly. Hari, අනිත් පාඩම් වල තියෙනවා. මේකට දැම්මේ නැහැ ඉතින්. ඒක ඉගෙනුවේ නැහැ මෙතන. And few questions are from term test. Hari. Right. So then take the tute එක ගන්න. I hope you have hard copy. හරියට කරන්නේ. Yeah. You can do other curricular. එහෙම අවුලක් නැහැ. We'll discuss those later. Extra curricular මොනවද ඔක්කොම කරන්න පුළුවන්. With A levels you can. එහෙම අවුලක්. අපි ඔය පස්සේ කතා කරමු. බය වෙන්න එපා. දැම්ම හිතන්න එපා. දැම්ම හිතන්න. It's good ඉතින්. හිතන්නේ හොඳයි. Okay. Yeah. Meanwhile, you can send the answers to the chat. I can see few answers. Good. Answers තියෙනවා නම් we'll continue from question number 1. If I feel that some questions are the same, then I'll skip. Right. So we'll do like this. Now, normally I'll give you roughly, let's say, 2 minutes or 1.5 minutes to do a question. Right? Right? Then the first question. The formula of an isopropyl alcohol molecule is CH3 twice CHOH. What is the number of atoms in this molecule? Okay, quickly answer me. Quickly answer the first question. Tagala chat eකට answers එවන්න. CHOH. Can't give 2 minutes. Ne, එච්චර දෙන්න නෑනේ O levels වල. 1 minute දෙන්න. එච්චර ඕනේ නෑ. How many atoms do we have? I don't want the number of atoms. I want the number of the answer. Answer එක වන්න මට answer එක. Say me the answer. Good. Yeah, it's the first answer. Eh? How? So here you have this is easy, right? Here you have one carbon and you have 3 hydrogens and the entire thing is doubled. Therefore, you have 1 plus 3 is 4, 4 into 2 is 8. 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So it's 12, right? These are all level questions. All level ප්‍රශ්න මේ lazy තමයි, but that's the answer. So for 1 it's 4. For 1 it's 4. හරි නේද? Right. Then quickly second එක. Tagalan, the second one. We'll use a separate slide. Second one. What is the answer? What is the amount? Now, we might be moving quickly. සමහර ළමයින්ට මේව අමාරු වෙන්න පුළුවන්. If you feel that is difficult, put it in the chat. හරි? ටග්ගල දාමු. Okay, what is the number of moles of calcium carbonate in 10 grams of calcium carbonate? Which is easy. You can easily use this equation. N equals simple M over capital M. What is simple M? 10 grams. 10 grams. What is capital M? They have given 100. Now here they haven't given the molar mass. Have they given the molar mass? No. What is this? Is this the molar mass? This is the relative molecular mass. But we know we can get the molar mass by simply adding the unit. Matakade concepts. 100 grams per mole. Right. Therefore, we know this is 100 grams mole. Therefore, it's 0.1 mole. So it's the second answer. Be careful. සමහර 0.01 වල තිබ්බ ළමයි ඒ වගේ mistakes කරන්න එපා, right? So this is the second answer. The previous one which was the fourth answer, eh? The third one. Indicated below is the reaction between hematite and carbon monoxide. What is the mass of Fe that can be produced using 1 mole of Fe2? Okay, right. Quickly try to answer the question. Answer. Now I'll give you a few minutes for that. Make up. Alin tarang direct man neda. 2 minutes. Send me the answer. Okay. Everyone try to send the answer. Okay, we have few answers. Anik kattiya answers evan yan. Second one for me. Okay. Now, if you want, you can continue doing the questions on the board. Right, okay. The question. When I go to Harvard University, why yeah, yeah, of course. I work here now. Me chat take down questions are really important. Can I go to Harvard University while studying in Sri Lanka? Yeah, most of my friends are abroad, studying abroad for their BSc, which means the degree which we do in the campus. And most of the students are studying in very prestigious unis. ඒවම කියලා දෙන්න. හරි. එහෙමත් කතන්දර ටිකක් තියෙනවා which you need to think when you are selecting your A level stream as well. Good question. What was next? And for that you don't even need money. සල්ලි ඕනේ නැහැ. සල්ලි වලට යන්නත් බෑ. For Harvard you can't attend by being rich. සල්ලි දීප කියලා ගන්න Harvard. හරි. They have few requirements. It's a difficult process obviously. But I know how to do that. Alright, anyway, පස්සේ බලමු කොහෙද? හොඳ question. Alright. The third one. The third question. I got few good answers, correct answers. Indicate now, but the answers were significantly low. අඩුවෙන් උත්තර ආවේ. අමාරු ප්‍රශ්නේ. Now that's a good question relatively නේ. Indicated below is the reaction between hematite and carbon monoxide. We'll write down the equation. First, when they give you an equation, check whether that's balanced, right? If not, you need to balance the equation, right? If not, you need to balance the equation. 3CO2, right? Then, what is the mass of Fe that can be produced using 1 mole of Fe2O3? 1 mole of Fe2O3. If we have 1 mole of Fe2O3, how many moles of Fe can we get? How many moles of Fe can we get? It's 2, right? These numbers are known as the stoichiometric coefficient. I don't know whether you know that term. That numbers are known as the stoichiometric coefficient. 1 mole of Fe2O3 will react with 3 moles of carbon monoxide, producing 2 moles of Fe and 3 moles of carbon dioxide. That's a ratio, right? So if we have 10 moles of Fe2O3, we will want 30 moles of carbon monoxide. That's something like that, right? So since we have 1 mole of Fe2O3, we will produce 2 moles of Fe. 2 moles of Fe. Now they are not asking for the number of moles, they are asking the mass. So you can again use this equation. The number of moles is 2. The mass is we don't know, and then we want to find the molar mass. For Fe, have they given the molar mass? They haven't, ne? They haven't given the molar mass. Therefore, you need to know the molar mass. I don't know. In normally in A levels they will give molar mass, so no need to bother. So the molar mass of Fe is 56. The relative mass is 56. Therefore, the molar mass is 56 grams per mole. Grams per mole, right? Then this is 56 grams per mole. Right? Then you will get the mass as 56 into 2 is 112 grams, which is the third answer. Answer 3. Right? Third answer. Okay, quickly do the fourth one. Fourth one. Okay, we have answers. Alright. We have answers. පත්තියම ගොඩක් උත්තර දෙන්න. Right. I'll separately answer the questions. Right. Now, here, the fourth one. If you want me to go to a previous slide, may අන්තිමට කියන්න, right? Because otherwise the flow will be interrupted. Sorry, I will. Fourth one. Of the following compounds, what is the compound in which the percentage of oxygen by mass is 50%? Now, these type of questions, you need to make sure that your time won't be wasted. Your time won't be wasted. You need to make sure that's the case. Why? Now, if you want, you can calculate the masses of all the compounds and get the answer. If not, you can just try to figure out what might be the answer. Next. Now here the mass of oxygen should be 50%. Okay. Is it possible to get the... No, I think it's easier just to go through all the questions, all the answers. In A levels, you have 5 answers. For scholarship, you had 3 neither. For O levels, you have 4. In A levels, you have 5. Right. Here, so the mass of oxygen here is 16. Nee, kain is 16. And then the mass of the total one is 16 plus 17, 21, and 14 is 35. That's more than 50%. But they're asking for exactly 50%, nee? Not true. No, not less than 50%, sorry. Here, the mass of oxygen is 32. Why? Because we have 2 oxygens. Nee? Metana dennek inna. Check. We have 2, right? We have 2. Therefore, it's 32 divided by the total one is 32, 34, 74. Check whether you can get 74. Monahari lakama ganna verna kiyanna. Here, the mass of oxygen is 16. Carbon 12, again 16, so it's 32. Okay, we have 50% here. So that's the answer, the third one. Okay, good. Third one is the answer. Right, third one answer, please. The answer for the third one was the third one. 112 grams. 112. And okay, there are good. Hamare lamaya 8% itara answer good. Can we complete A-level science within 1 year? Yeah, you can, but you need to have some high level IQ then, because it's a 3-year course. පුළුවන් කරපයින්න. How did you get 74? Here? For this one? Because here we have calcium, which is 40. And we have 2 oxygens, which is 32. Why do we have 2? Because we have a 2 here. Right? Then we have 2 hydrogens, which is 2. Then altogether it's 74. Right? That's how we got 74. Right? Okay. So that's the fourth one. Then the 11th question. Sorry, the 5th question. Sorry, the 5th question. What is the amount of moles of oxygen in 64? That's easy, right? Maybe all other questions. 64 divided by 32. You can write the units. It's 2. Very easy. So that's the second answer, which is 2. When you are writing your paper in all levels, if you get a small number like this, always make sure whether you underline the proper answer, right? And even when you are ticking the boxes. Hari the IA or checking the boxes. Now here, mehemane answers තියෙන්නේ. These are common mistakes. We'll have a session to discuss those later. But since I remembered that, then hitanno mehema tibba කියලා answers 3, 4, 2 and 5. Hari? Then now your answer is 2. So this is this answer, right? Mehemane, now you underline this. But when you are checking the boxes, you look at it and you think 2. Remember, 2. And then you cut the second one. Then is that correct? That's not correct. Ne? Therefore, make sure that you pay proper attention, right? Answer is 2, but number is 3. In this case, the answer is 2 and number is 2. So it doesn't matter. Hari? That clear? Hari. Then what's the answer for the fourth one? Didn't be right. The answer for the fourth one is the 3. 3. Hari. So answer for this one is 2. Hari. Sixth question. Parane answers, ask me later. We'll write all the answers in one place later. Pass it. That's how we was done. Well, it's disturbing me. Neither. Wait, I just quickly check the live. Live view. Beginning of the Nasha team, Nasha reading models. Okay. Do the sixth question quickly. Tagal, have any answers done? Quickly put the answers for the sixth one. Right. Okay. Right. The third one. What is the mass of C6H12O6 required to prepare 1 cubic decimeter of 0.3 moles per cubic decimeter glucose? Here, we need to use another equation or another concept to answer this question, which we did not learn under this concept. They are giving, then we need to prepare 1 cubic decimeter, with a concentration of 0.1 mole per cubic decimeter. Now, what's the idea of this? In 1 cubic decimeter, if we write this in our words, sorry, මේවා ඔයාගේ words වලින් ලියන්න try කරන්න. If we write this in our words, it's in 1 or else 1 cubic decimeter, 0.1 moles should exist. That's the idea, right? In 1 cubic decimeter, 0.1 moles should exist. Hari, we actually do have 1 cubic decimeter. Therefore, in this one, 0.1 mole should exist. 0.1 mole should exist. Hari. For A levels, we use this equation to get the answer. N equals CV. C is the concentration, which is the 0.1. V is the volume, which is 1. But here, even without writing an equation, you can easily understand. The idea of this is in 1 cubic decimeter, we have 0.1 moles. Therefore, we have 1 cubic decimeter, then we need to have 0.1 moles. If we had 5 cubic decimeters, then this should be 0.5. If we had 7, this should be 0.7. Amen. There now, right? Here, this is 0.1. Then, what is the mass of C6H12O6? The number of glucose, ne? Again, you can use N equals M. So, for almost all the questions, this is what we are supposed to use in your O levels. They generally ask about this. Ne? So, M is M. They are asking that the molar mass we need to calculate. The number of moles is 0.1. Right? The number of moles is 0.1. Is it clear? 0.1. And you need to calculate the capital M. Capital M, the molar mass for what? C6H12O6. So you can calculate the MR, which is the relative molecular mass, which is 6 into 12 is 72, plus 12 into 1 is 12, plus 6 into 16 is 96. Altogether, it's 180. It's 180 here. So capital M is 18 grams. So it's not that difficult. You need to figure out how many moles is required. So it's 0.1. And then you need to figure out the molar mass. Easy. Then press it here, put it here, then you can get the answer as 18 grams. Hari? Good. I have got a lot of answers, correct answers, which is good. Hari. Then we have the answer as the third one. Hari. Don't make mistakes because all the possible answers have been given 0.18, 1.8, ඔක්කොම තියෙනවානේ. So it should be 18 grams. Hari. Do you use this equation in O levels? නෑ නේද? Do we use this? You have it? Okay. Okay. You use it the other way. Ne? C equals N over V. Okay. So normally in questions we use this. Even in all of us, you can see this is the type you use, right? C and V are given. N is expected. Doesn't matter. Okay. If you have this, then easy. Right. Then the seventh one. Right. So what is the answer? For 6, it was 3. Right. The seventh one. How much is the mass of sodium chloride contained in 100 cubic centimeters of sodium chloride solution of concentration of 1? Right. Again, you can use this. So as you can see, using this is much more easier. So if you want, you can use this, doesn't matter. This is just the same equation. Now you need to find, now they're asking the mass. Then to find the mass, if you can find the number of moles, this is the normal procedure. Find the number of moles and put it here. You can find the molar mass and then you can find the mass. That's it. So to find the number of moles, they have given the concentration as 1 mole per cubic decimeter. And they have given the volume as 100. But can you substitute 100 here? No, you can't substitute 100. Why? Because here it's per decimeter. Then you need to give this in decimeters. 0.1 decimeter. 0.1 decimeter. Is that clear? Because then only these two units will be cancelled and you will get 0.1 mole as the answer. Right? So what did we do here? We converted 100 cubic centimeters. Sorry. Into 0.1 cubic decimeters by dividing it by 1000. Right? So you need to know the relationships. What are the relationships? We know that 1 cubic meter is equal to 1000 cubic decimeters. 1 cubic decimeter is equal to 1000 cubic centimeters. And also you can combine these two and write 1 cubic meter is equal to 1 million cubic centimeters. Right? To make the conversions happen, right? Hari. So you got the number of moles. You can substitute it here. Then M over capital M, you need to find the capital M. Again, the molar mass needs to be found. Then you can find the molar mass by adding sodium chloride. The molar mass is 23 plus 35.5, right? So it's 58.5. Put it here. Then you can get the answer as 5.85. Therefore, the answer is 3. The answer is 3. The answer is 3. Check. හරි නේද? ගොඩක් ඒවාට 3 ආවේ නේ. Right? Okay. හොඳයි කට්ටිය කරගෙන යනවානේ. මම උගන්වන්න ඕනේ නෑ වගේ. නේ පුළුවන් නේ ඔයගලන්ට. හොඳයි. The 8th question. What is the number of carbon dioxide molecules? We did a question like this, ne? What is the number of carbon dioxide molecules in 22 grams of carbon dioxide? So you can simplify the number of moles and use that equation which I gave you. Hari, ඒක ලියන්න එපා. For MCQ doesn't matter නේ. They don't know how you got the answer නේ. ඒගොල්ලන්ට දන්නේ නැහැ ඒක. So for carbon dioxide easily you can use this equation. Now mass is 22 grams divided by the molar mass. You can calculate it's 44 නේ. Then දන්නවා මේක. So you will get the number of moles as 0.5. Then you can use this which I gave you. N equals capital N over NA. Neither. This is the number of molecules which we did. අපි අර කලින් essay question එකක් කරේ before the interval and we discussed after the interval the same concept, right? So the number of moles is 0.5 and then the number of molecules we need to find. Avogadro is 6.022 into 10 to the power 23. That's it. So you can simplify this. They have given it in a different way. Ne? Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. So number of moles is 0.5 into 6.022 into 10 to the power 23. You can use another method if you want. Doesn't matter. Or if you want, you can use another method. But if you use it like this, then you need to find another way to express 0.5. That's it. So you can see it's the first answer. Ne? 22 divided by 44 is 0.5. That's all right. They have got answers in a different way because they are using a difficult method. Then they will get answers like this. But we are using the easier method. You can write 0.5 like 22 over 44. Then that's the first answer. Sorry. Wait, it's the first answer. තේරෙනව නේද ඒක? අමාරු නෑනේ. First answer. Can you allow captions on YouTube, please? Haven't we allowed captions? Can you send me the tutor? Text me on WhatsApp. I'll send you the tutor. I think we have. You can allow captions on YouTube. I think since we are using English, I think you can. That's what my technical assistant said. I don't know. We'll see. බලන්න පොඩ්ඩ. Yeah, I think we can. නෑනේ, captions are off නේ. Okay, I'll inform that. Right. So on Zoom, why is my accent not clear? Zoom captions දාන්න කියන්නේ. It's disturbing නේ. I'll switch the captions on YouTube. Then you can switch there. Hurry, if it's uncomfortable. Hurry. In few minutes, the captions will be visible. Hurry, right. And that's the 8th question. අග්ගාලයන් ඊළඟකට 9th one. All good, right? අවුලක් නෑනේ කරගෙන යනවානේ. Now if you are comfortable, just continue doing the questions. මම කරන එක බලන්න ඕන. Just cross check whether the answers are correct. That's it. Hurry. What is the number of oxygen molecules contained? Again, you know what to do, right? Very easy. මේක නිකම්ම ගන්න පුළුවන් නේ. Here we know the shortcut now. We know the shortcut. Here the number of oxygen molecules contained in 64 grams of oxygen. First of all, you need to find the number of moles. N is equal to M over capital M. What is M? 64. What is capital M? 32. Why 32? Because oxygen is O2. So it's 16 into 2. Ne? 16 again, so it's 32. Therefore, it's 2. Since the number of moles are 2, you can use this equation. N is equal to capital N over NA again. Then බලන්න මේ equation එකෙන් වැඩේ කොච්චර ලේසි වෙනවද කියලා, right? Then you have a 2 here. Then you have an N here. Then it's 6.022 into 10 to the power 23. Then you get the answer as 2 into 6.022 into 10. So we have 2 answers repeated. Ne? ඒක typing error එකක්. So you can get the answer as either 2 or 3. Doesn't matter. It's a typing error, I guess, from our side. Right. It's either 2 or 3. ඔක්කොම ඉවරද? ඔක්කොම ඉවර ළමයි තියෙනවද? හොඳයි. Are the captions on now? Right. That's for the 9th question. හරි. හරි. හොඳයි යා ඔක්කොම කරා කියන්නේ good. 10th question 10. ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා නම් අහන්න. හොඳයි කට්ටිය උනන්දුවෙන් ඉන්නවා. We have roughly around 80-85 students. හරි පුළුවන් දෙක. කමන්නේ දාන්න. Right, the 10th question. What is the mole fraction of O2 in a mixture containing 96 grams of oxygen and 56 grams of nitrogen? So you need to first find the number of what? The number of moles of each oxygen and nitrogen. That's easy, right? So you can find the number of moles of oxygen. Number of oxygen moles. They have given the mass 96 grams divided by the molar mass, which is 32, which is 3. No need to write units because this is MCQ. Then number of moles of nitrogen moles. Then it's 56 grams divided by 28, which is 2. Don't make mistakes. Huh? This should be divided by 32, not 16, and this is 28, not 14. Then they're asking for the molar fraction of nitrogen. How to get the molar fraction? Molar fraction is very simple, which we didn't do today. You can get it by the number of moles divided by the total number of moles. Total number of moles. Which means, now since they are asking for the molar fraction of nitrogen, they are asking for the molar fraction of nitrogen, right? Then the number of moles of nitrogen is 2 divided by the total mole, not this, right? Divided by the total, which is 2 plus 3, which is 5. Then you will get 2/5. That's the molar fraction. So that's the second answer. Maruda Nane. Right. Now, if you can complete this tune, you need not to be worried about all the calculations. If you know the theory, you can easily do the calculations of any part of chemistry. Then, if you now let's assume that you have a lesson regarding the rates of reactions, right? It's kinetics. In A levels, we call it kinetics. Hurry. Again, if you know the concept of that, everything else will be asking from this part. Hurry. This is the fundamental of chemistry, oral chemistry. Is this clear? The 10th one. Hurry, continue. Karangya. Now we are in a rhythm. We have 30 more minutes. Enough. They are asking about oxygen. My bad. අන්න ඒ වගේ mistakes කරන්න එපා. හරි. මං කරනවා වගේ මෝඩ mistakes කරන්න එපා. They are asking about oxygen. Right. True. Then this should be 3, ne? This should be 3. Then it's a third answer. ඒ වගේ mistakes කරන්න එපා. The question might be simple. Doesn't matter. Even me myself made a mistake. Make sure that you won't. හරි නේද? It's asking about oxygen නේද? No, it's asking about oxygen, ne? The mole fraction of oxygen, yeah. What is the mole fraction of oxygen in a mixture? Yeah, okay. What is... Hare ne? That's the 10th question. Okay, we have 30 minutes more. We have roughly 8 more questions to discuss. Who has social media addiction? Who is addicted to social media? Am I know? Just trying to understand. Don't raise your hand. Lajja, just send me a message. Lajja, the social media addicted to raise your hand. Is it normal? Is it normal? WhatsApp, addicted to WhatsApp. Me, ambo. Use but not addicted. Okay. Me. So what social media are you addicted? Instagram? Pinterest use කරනවා නේ. දන්නේත් නැහැ බං ඒවා අපි. YouTube, TikTok. Okay, Instagram. Insta, Pinterest, all to you. Whoa. Addicted කියන්නේ දෙයියනේ. මෙච්චර messages ආවේ as answers. If you're addicted to social media, then you can't do A levels. එහෙම ගන්න බෑ ඉතින්. හරි. Are you using social? Of course. Now, am I using social media? Yeah, මේ seminar එක ගැන ඔයගොල්ලෝ දැනගත්තේ most of you students don't know me, right? You don't know me as a tutor for A-level chemistry. I advertise this seminar in Facebook and Instagram. That's how like half of the students know. And then my previous batch students might have said for some students, and then you send the message around. That's it, ne? I think that's social media, right? So social media is not a bad thing. I use social media a lot for my advertising and my education purposes. But I'm not addicted. මං වැරදි අඩවල use කරන්නේ. Right? Now, so the idea is that social media is not a bad thing, but I know that now, which generation do you belong? Gen Z or Gen Alpha? Like I feel old talking it to you. පොඩ්ඩ වයසයි කියලා හිතනවා මට. I'm not that old though, but we are Z. Okay. Do you play games? No, I don't play games. I don't like. Actually, I don't have time. Not Alpha. Okay, right, shape. So I am also Gen Z, I guess. I did my A-levels in 2020. Right? I'm still attending campus. Okay, so I'm actually really busy. I have a very tight schedule, therefore I don't have time to play games or to even, I very rarely go through social media, but I do. How old are you? So I did A-levels in 2020, which means I am now 23, I guess, 23 or 24. Hari? Now the idea is that if you're addicted to social media, then you need to figure out a way to get rid of it. Otherwise, it's actually the main concern for students who are doing A-levels, the addiction of social media. It doesn't allow you to work on a consistent basis. Now, when the exams are closer, you get the feeling that I need to work. Therefore, you can keep your phone aside. Even though you are addicted, right? But for A-levels, you know, once A-level starts, okay, I have 3 years. I'm ගොඩක් කල් තියෙනවා. shape phone ne බලාගෙන ඉන්නවා. That's the issue, ne? And we need to figure out. It doesn't matter what stream you are going to do, but you can use social media. It doesn't matter, but you need to know how to use it, and there are certain things you need to do, right? My A-level results. Okay, I did not say that. No, I got 3 years, and I'm currently attending the engineering faculty of Morato University. I'm the third year student, right? And what did I say? To avoid phone addiction or social media addiction, there are a few things you can do, which I'll teach you later. I just wanted to get an idea on how much, how addicted you are, right? ඒක දැනගන්න නැවුවේ. හරි? So I'll inform those later. There are certain apps which you can download, certain tricks, certain psychology stuff. We have a lot of stuff. I'll teach you those later at the seminar, the introductory seminar for A-levels. Sorry. What's my alma mater? ඒවත් දැනගන්න ඕනද? Yeah, but I can't remember. What is my O-level result? Obviously, I think 9 A's. Right? No, sorry. 8 A's, 1 B. I forgot. I got B for literature, English lit. So your O-level result has no impact with your A-level result, right? So I have friends who had like 6 or 7 A's, or even 5 or 6 A's, who got 3 A's for maths for A-levels. But do your best for O-levels. Then if you work, there's no relationship between O-levels and A-levels in terms of result. Result එක එහෙම ලකුවට මේ ගන්න. හරි. Enough chatting. කතා කරන්න ගත්තම නම් reply යනවා සෑහෙන්න නේ. Right. So we'll do the 11th question. Right. So we'll talk later. අපි පස්සේ කතා කරමු on how to avoid social media addiction and how to do A-levels, my personal experiences, because I did my A-levels recently. I did my A-levels 5 years ago. දැන් මම මෙහෙම classes කරනවා, and lot of students are joining my classes, and I'm doing my degree. ගොඩක් මම නිකන් එන ලොකු වැඩක් කරනවා වගේ පේනුණාට I'm still I think I am now you are doing A-levels in 2027. I'm only 7 years elder than you. හරි? මම ලොකු මේකක් නෑ ඉතින්. So I have the recent experience. I'll share a few important things before you start your A-levels, which will change your A-level journey dramatically. Hari? Then the 11th question. What is the mass of glucose required to make 500 cubic centimeters of a glucose solution of concentration 1 mole per cubic decimeter? Relative molecular mass of glucose is 180. So that's the MR. MR is given as the 180. Now again, you can use N equals CV. Concentration is 1. And then the volume is 0.5 cubic decimeters. Again, we divided that 500 by 1000. Hari? Then that's 0.5 moles. Okay. Then you can, they're asking for the mass. All the questions are almost same. That's the importance of doing past papers, right? Because the questions will repeat. Sorry. But the idea is same. N is equal to MO. Now, how many times did we write this equation? So they are asking for the mass. The mole is 0.5 M divided by capital M. For glucose, it's here they haven't given the formula of glucose, which they expect you to know because this is taught in bio. Glucose is this. If you don't know, you can't do anything, and it's a 180. So it's 180 here. Then the mass is 90 grams. So it's the second answer. What was my school? I attended to the Royal College Colombo. ප්‍රශ්න තියෙනවා නෑනේ. Is that clear? Is the 17th question clear? No, not since grade 1 after scholarship. Right? So it's very easy, right? Using this equation, then using this. But here there's a thing, you need to know the formula of this. You need to know the formula. Right. Then the 12th question. So the answer was what? The second one. Right. 12th one. Put the answers on the chat. Tagal chat answers down. We can discuss other stuff later after finishing our O levels. Tagala, put the answers for the 12th one. Okay, we have answers. Good. Tagala and answer sticker. Given below is the balanced equation relating to the decomposition of potassium permanganate. How much is the amount of moles of potassium permanganate that should be decomposed to produce 3 moles of oxygen gas? Okay. Not that difficult, Very easy question. So 2KMnO4 goes to K2MnO4 plus MnO2 plus oxygen. And this has been balanced. Check whether when they give you an equation, whether it has been balanced. Now they are asking about this one and this one. Right? They are asking about these two. So what they are saying is how much of potassium permanganate, this is potassium permanganate, right? Should be decomposed. Decompose means you give heat and as a result, it will form different chemical compounds. That's the idea of decomposition. How many moles of this should be decomposed to get 3 moles of oxygen gas? 3. So to get 3, you need to decompose 6. Why? If you decompose 2, you will get 1. Then to get 3, you need to decompose 6. If the ratio is 2 to 1, then to get 3, you need to decompose 6. Very basic stuff. So the answer is 4. Be careful. Not the third answer, the fourth answer, and the answer is 6. Sorry? Hari දාගෙන Put the answers for the 13th one. Tagala karamu. Tagala karanya. Send the answers for the 13th question. Send the answers for the 13th question. Right? Okay, we have few answers. Balamu Tagala balanya ma Tagala answers ටික දාන්න. For the 13th question. What are the answers? Can you explain 12 again? Yeah, we are doing electrochemistry on the 4th of March. We are doing a full seminar for that on the next Tuesday. Can you explain 12 again? Okay, I can. So the 12th one is very easy. It's asked how much of KMnO4 should be decomposed to get 3 moles of oxygen. And they have given the balanced equation. So simply, you need to show that to get 1 mole of oxygen, you need to decompose 2 moles of KMnO4. Why? Because of the ratio. The ratio. මෙයාගේ දෙකක් decompose කරනවා to get 1 of this. To get 3, you need to decompose 6. That's it. Is that clear? Arnel? Is that clear? ආපු ළමයා? It's just the stoichiometric ratio. Right? Okay. If it's not clear, you can ask again, right? Okay, good. Then the 13th question. The 13th one. We have 5 more questions, ne? 6 actually with this. The following balanced equation is related to the complete combustion of ethane. C2H4 plus oxygen goes to 2CO2 plus 2H2O plus 1400 kilojoules. Okay, which means that some energy has been emitted with this reaction, right? Now this C2H4 ethane is actually a hydrocarbon. C2H4 is actually a hydrocarbon. This is a hydrocarbon. So if you react hydrocarbon with oxygen, which is known as the combustion, energy will release. Actually, you know octane, right? You don't know this. I don't know whether you know this formula, but you know octane. Octane is included in petrol, right? In gasoline. So actually in your vehicles, that octane will be combusted with oxygen. Therefore, an energy will be released. That's what happening. That's what is also happening here, right? So C2H4 plus oxygen goes to CO2 plus H2O. What is the mass of water formed when 1 mole of ethane is subjected to complete combustion? What is the mass of water formed when 1 mole of ethane? Okay, so we'll write down the equation. Plus oxygen goes to 2CO2 plus 2H2O, right? And no need to think about the energy. That's not relevant here. What is the mass of water formed when 1 mole of ethane? So if we combust 1 mole, how many moles of water will be formed? 2, right? It's 1 to 2. It's 1 to 2, right? So it's 1 to 2. Therefore, if you combust 1, you will get 2 moles of water. Then they are not asking about the moles, they are asking about the mass. Again, this equation. Number of moles is 2. Mass we don't know. We need to find the molar mass of water. What is the molar mass? Now don't think about this here, right? This is only, we only use this to get the molar mass. Some include this. That's just a stoichiometric number. You need to get the molar mass for water. So water is this. It's 2 here and it's 16 here. Therefore, it's 18. So mass is 36. That's the third answer. It's the third answer. Very easy, right? Since you are giving me answers, I am quickly moving, right? Okay. Do the 14th one, send the answers for the 14th one. I'll give you 1 minute. Ready? Okay, we have different answers for 14. For 14. Right. The standard form of the element sodium is given below. Select the correct statement about sodium. Right. Now this might include few theories which we didn't do today. We'll discuss. So this is the 14th question. For sodium, It's 11 and 23, right? For sodium, it's 11 and 23. Standard, okay. Select the correct statement, right? Now here what we know is this is the atomic number. This is the atomic number. Atomic number. This is the mass number. Right? This is the mass number. Then the mass number of sodium is 23 grams. Is it correct? Is the first sentence correct? No, it's not correct, right? It's not correct. Why? The mass number is not given in grams, right? Mass number is just a number. Mass number is the number of the sum of protons and neutrons. The atomic number is the number of protons. That's it. It doesn't have a unit. So the mass number is just 23 and the atomic number is just 11. So the first sentence is not correct. One is not correct. Simply because they have written this 23 grams. That's a trick question. Hari, 1 mole of sodium, 23 atoms? No. The third one, the mass of 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 of sodium atoms are 23 grams. Mass of 23 sodium atoms. So the fourth one is definitely incorrect. The third one, the mass of 6 points, so that's the Avogadro number. The mass of Avogadro of sodium atoms is 23 grams. That's correct, right? We did it. So if this is the mass number, now we did not cover this theory under this lesson, but if this is the mass number, that will be equal to what? The relative atomic mass or the AR. AR of sodium is also 23 then. AR of sodium is also 23 then. Then if AR is 23 and if the sample size is 23 grams, then we can say the number of molecules is equal to the Avogadro number. Can you remember that we learned it? අපි මේක ඉගෙන ගත්ත කියන මතකද here? කොහෙද ඒක ඉගෙන ගත්තේ? This one. Can you remember this? මෙන්න මේක මේ. Here, look, AR, sample size, number of atoms. AR, sample size, number of atoms. So if the sample size is equal to AR, then we have that much of atoms. That's what we did here. If the sample size is equal to the AR, here, this is 5 times. Therefore, we need to multiply it by 5. In the 20th one. In 20th slide. Here, the AR is equal to the sample size. Therefore, that's the number of molecules. Or the number of, not molecules, number of atoms, sorry. Sodium is atom, number of atoms. So the correct answer is the third one. But here we did not cover the theory that the mass number is equal to AR. You need to know that. That's from another unit. The mass number is equal to AR. Even though you don't know the third answer, all the other answers are incorrect. Difficult. You need to understand that the mass number and the atomic number doesn't have units. Okay, send the answers for the 15 question. There's a small issue in the 15 question. What the issue is? This is the maximum. I can't increase more than 20. Okay. Then we'll go here. The 15th one. There's a small issue that you need to know here. That they haven't said when it says nitrogen, is it this or this? They haven't said. But since nitrogen normally acts like this, we'll take it like this. So nitrogen should be this, then hydrogen should be this, and then magnesium should be this, and nitrogen again should be this, right? So if they haven't properly said whether it's N2 or N, take the normal scenario. Normally nitrogen acts as N2. Then 7 grams, 2 grams, 24 grams, and 28 grams. They're asking what contains the same number of atoms as atoms in 12 grams of carbon. So how many grams do we have in 12 grams of carbon? We have 1 mole of atoms, right? Because the molar mass is also 12. The molar mass is 12. So you can use simply this. Then the simple M is 12, the mass is 12, the molar mass is also 12. So you will get 1 mole. So we have 1 mole of atoms in carbon. We have 1 moles of atom in carbon. Hari neda? Then you need to find in what do we have 1 mole of atoms. So here the molar mass is 28. Here the molar mass is 2. Here the molar mass is 24. Ne? Sorry, 12. Is it 12? No, it's 24. Ne? It's 24. Here the molar mass is 28. Here the molar mass is 28. Then what is the answer? What is the answer? It's the third one. Ne? Why? Now by divide, this is the mass, this is the simple M, this is the capital M. So by dividing this by this, you can get the number of moles. Here it's 0.25. Here it's 1. Here it's 1. Here it's 1. Now you might think, okay, we have 3 answers. Do we have 3 answers? No, we don't have 3. Why? Why don't we have 3? Because they are asking the number of atoms. Now here, dividing this by this, you will get how much hydrogen moles we have. But in 1 hydrogen mole, we have 2 atoms of hydrogen. Ne? Why? In 1 hydrogen mole, we have 2 hydrogen atoms. So you need to put another column for atoms as well. Another column for atoms. I'll use another color. Another column for atoms. Atoms. So here we have this much of moles of nitrogen. In 1 nitrogen, we have 2 atoms. Therefore, we need to multiply this by 2. Then it's 0.5. Here also, we have 1 mole of hydrogen. But in 1 hydrogen, we have 2. Therefore, we need to multiply it by 2. Then 2. In magnesium, we only have 1. Therefore, it's simply this one. But in nitrogen, here again, this 1 should be multiplied by 2. Then this will be the answer. Tricky, you need to understand the tricks. Hari tricks there and Hari. You need to think. Right? So the tip from my side is, once you see that we have a lot of same answers, check whether what's wrong. Once you get 1 for this, just don't underline the answer. Then you will identify that there's a certain trick. Right? So this is the mass, this is the molar mass, this is the number of moles, this is the number of atoms. Right? We have to simply multiply this and this by 2. That's the 15th question. There's a question, how to find atoms. So how to find atoms? Again, there are a few messages saying to explain this, okay? Both vessel contains, okay, that's the next one. Methana, how to find the number of atoms? So it's easy, ne? Methana, what we did was, now here you can see, this is the number of atoms, the number of, okay, these atoms are given in moles, not the entire number of atoms, this is the moles. Doesn't matter, ne? Moles are in the, now here what we did was, for nitrogen, now this line is okay, ne? This is simply the mass. This is the molar mass. So dividing this by this, this by this, this by this, this by this, you can get the number of moles. That's okay, right? Number of moles are okay, right? Now what I did here was I'll erase this. Right. So what I did here was that I identified how many moles of atoms do we have? Because they are asking about the atoms. Now in 1 nitrogen molecule, so this is the number of molecules, right? In 1 nitrogen molecule, we have 2 nitrogen atoms. Therefore, we need to multiply this by 2 to get the number of atoms. Same here. Not here because we only have 1. But here also you need to multiply it by 2. Multiply it by 2, 2, 2. This is the number of moles of atoms. Why did we find the atoms? Because in the question they are asking what contains the same number of atoms in carbon. For carbon, you can find the number of moles first, which is 1, because 12 grams. For carbon, the mass is 12 grams. The molar mass is also 12. Therefore, the number of moles is 1. Since carbon is a single element, you can directly say that this is the number of atoms. Directly number of atoms. But this is not an element. This is not an element. This is not an element. So these are the number of molecules. You need to multiply it by 2 to get the number of atoms. But for magnesium, doesn't matter. It's an element. You need to figure out if it is a molecule. Then you need to multiply it by 2 or 3 or whatever the number to get the number of atoms. We have 2. But if it is an atom, you can directly get the answer. If it is an element, you can directly get the answer. Is that clear? Clear? So the answer is the third one. If it is not that clear, you can check it again. Hari. think it again, then you will get the answer. Is it clear, student? අවුලක් නෑ නේද? හරිනේ? If you have difficulties, you can ask. If not, right, තේරෙනවද? හරි, okay. Okay, done. That's the 15th question. Then we have 3 more questions, නේ? ටක් ගාලා කරමු. We'll take 5 වගේ extra minutes අරන් ටක් ගාලා කරමු නේ. හොඳයි අන්තිමේටම හිටපු ළමයි නියමයි මරු. YouTube live එකේ හිටපු ළමයි හොඳයි යා. We'll finish the next 3 questions quickly. ඊට පස්සේ ඉවරයක් කළා දාමු. හරි? Right. Okay. I think I can share this slides as a PDF. If possible, I'll share it on the group. Right? The 16th question. Right? The 16th question. Now here, 2 vessels contain 44 grams of carbon dioxide gas and 32 grams of oxygen gas. Which statement is correct regarding the number of carbon dioxide and oxygen molecules containing in these? Now for 44 grams, you can find for carbon dioxide, we'll do a calculation, and for oxygen, we'll do a separate calculation. For carbon dioxide, the mass is 44 grams. For oxygen, it is 32 grams. It's 32 grams. Yeah, okay, I'll try. Then the molar mass of this you can find, or you can do the calculations. You can get it as 44. And here the molar mass, you can get it as 32. Sorry? Is it clear? Then you can find the number of moles by dividing this by this. Then it's 1. It's 1 here. Now they are asking for the number of molecules, right? You know the equation to get the number of molecules. I gave you a shortcut. You can use N is equal to N over Avogadro. Using this, if this is 1, if this is N, the Avogadro is 6.022 into 10 to the power 23. Then you can get N as 6.022 into 10 to the power 23 molecules. It's similar for this and this because for both we got 1. For both you can get the number of molecules as this. Is the number of molecules. Always refer to that essay question which I gave you before the interval if you have a doubt. It explains all the questions from top to bottom. Then both vessels contain, they are asking about the number of molecules, right? Therefore, the first sentence is correct. The first sentence is one is the correct one. Since they are asking about the number of molecules. But if they had asked about the number of atoms, then it changes, right? This is the number of molecules. This is the number of molecules of carbon dioxide or oxygen. For both, it's true. For carbon dioxide, the number of molecules is 6.022 into 10 to the power 23. For oxygen also, the number of molecules is 6.022 into 10 to the power 23. But if they ask about the atoms, in one molecule of carbon, we have 3 atoms. 1, 2, 3. In one molecule of oxygen, we have 2 atoms. Then if they ask about the oxygen atoms, you need to multiply this by 2. If they ask about the total atoms in this, you need to multiply this by 3. තේරෙනව නේද? අර essay question එක බලන්න. Always refer to that essay question. හරි short essay question එකක් දුන්නානේ. Right, this is the 16th question. හරි. It's 12. 12 වෙලා. I'll take 5 minutes, maximum 10 minutes. Then we'll finish. හරි. පොඩ්ඩක් delays ටිකක් වුණානේ හැමෙන් අපේ පැත්තෙන් නේ. What's the answer? So the answer is the first one. First one. I said first one. Both vessels contain this much of molecules. So that's the first one. No need to send the recording. You have the YouTube live. බලමුකෝ ඒක මොකක් කරේ කරන්නේ. හරි. Enough time නේ. හරි. Send me the answers for the 17th question. We'll quickly finish. දැන් අතාරින්න එපා. තව විනාඩි 10යි කරන්නේ. මේ 10ත් ඉන්න ඕන අර මොරාල් එකෙම. හරි. Send me the answers for the 17th question. Second one. Okay. Others? Tagalawan, second. Okay, good. The sodium hydroxide solution is made by dissolving 10 grams of sodium hydroxide in 72 grams of water. What is the molar fraction of sodium hydroxide? So here you need to find the number of moles of water which can be given by dividing the mass of water by its molar mass. So here the mass of water is given as 72 grams. You can calculate the molar mass of water. This is the formula. So you need to be able to write these general formulas, which is 18. පුළුවන් ගන්න H1. And again, they haven't given these. Normally in A levels, in O levels, they will give. These are term test questions, so that's why they haven't given. So it's 4 here. The number of moles of water is 4. For sodium hydroxide, the formula is this. Then the number of moles are, the mass is 10. Right, the mass is 10. Then the molar mass is sodium. For sodium, it's 23. For oxygen, it's 16. For hydrogen, it's 1. So it's 40. It's 40. Then it's 0.25. 0.25. So they are asking for the molar fraction of sodium hydroxide, which is that. The molar fraction of sodium hydroxide is this, that one, divided by the total, which is 4.25. Ne? හරි නේද? හරිනේ? Okay. So that's how you are supposed to get the answer. මෙහෙමනේ ගන්නේ නේ. Since they don't have this answer, හරි නේද මේක? This is sodium hydroxide 10, this is 0, හරි 4, හරි. So you need to divide this and get the answer. 0.25 divided by 4.25, which is 1 over 17, which is roughly 5 point something නේද? 0.5, sorry. It's roughly 0.05 something. So once you get this, now you can see there are two answers. If one is 0.06, one is 0.05. So you need to be careful. If you divide this, you will get 0.058. Then it's not 0.05, it's 0.06. Sorry. So it's the first answer, not the second one. I got a lot of answers saying it's the second one. It's the first one. Pay attention, right? That's a trick question. පේනවාද trick කරන්න පුළුවන් විදිය? පේනද ඔයගොල්ලෝ රවට්ටන විදිය? Now didn't you know the theory? You knew everything. You got up to this point. But once you got this, you just underline 0.05. බලන්න, when you have close answers, pay close attention. හැමතිස්සෙම ප්‍රශ්න දිහා සැකෙන් බලන්න. Is there a trick? Is there a trick? හරි. So you can see the trick. So it's 0.06, not 0.05. හරි, it's the first. හරි. So I got a lot of answers saying it was the second one. So no, it's not the second one, it's the first one. 17 is 1. තේරෙනවනේ? Is that important to round off? It's not important to round off, but here, now, the actual answer is this, ne? Since they haven't given this answer, then you need to underline the correct answer according to the rounding off technique, ne? Make a deal, and if they have given, if they ask you to write the answer, then no need to round off. You can write this, but they haven't. They have given this, or they have given this. So this is not correct. This is the correct one. එහෙමයි. හරි. Okay. Final one. We discussed 17 questions. We revised the entire unit. We wrote a small short note which includes everything. We understood all the concepts. We discussed a complete tute which contains past paper questions of 5 years and few term test questions, model questions. Now we are doing the final MCQ. Satisfying name for me also. I don't know for you, but the satisfaction is very high. Hari. Kanban, the 18th question. Quickly send the answers for the final question. Lesson within 5 minutes. Quickly send me the answers for the 18th question. 16th question answer. 16? So the 17th one, the answer was 4. Sorry, 1. For the 16th one, again, it was 1. 18th eකට the answer. 18th එක චුට්ටක් might be a little bit difficult to understand. The mass of iron in kilograms, iron is Fe. Iron is Fe with a molar mass of 56. Don't bother about not having the molar masses, right? These are term test questions. So that's why they haven't given in all others they will normally give. But try to remember which can be extracted by reducing 3,200 kilograms of Fe2SO3. Okay, here also you need to know the molar masses, right? This is 56 for Fe, 32 for S and 16 for oxygen. Then they're asking, if we have this much of Fe2SO3, how much of iron can we get? If we have 3,200 kilograms of this, how much of this can be given? That's the question. That's the question. That's the question. So I'll guide you on this, right? I'll guide you on this. What you want to do is, hari ඔයා මෙතන කරන්න ඕන දේ මං කියන්නම්. I know that most of you didn't know this, therefore you might have not done this. So first of all, find the number of moles of Fe2SO3. Find the molar mass. Since they have this given in kilograms, convert this into grams, then divide it and get the number of moles of Fe2SO3. Get the number of moles of Fe2SO3. Then you can see, let's assume that we got 500 moles of Fe2SO3. I don't know, we'll see. We'll just assume. Then in 500 moles of Fe2SO3, how many Fe's do we have? Tell me. In 500 moles of this Fe2SO3, how many Fe's do we have? Toggle again, in moles. How many? Toggle again, how many do we have? In 1 mole of Fe2SO3, how many Fe's do we have in terms of moles? 2, right? Why? Because we have 2 here. We have 2. Easy as that. It's 2, right? In 1 mole of Fe2SO3, we have 1 mole of Fe. Sorry, 2 moles of Fe. In 5 moles of this, we have 10 moles of this. In 500 moles of this, we'll have 1000 moles of this. So after you getting the number of moles, you can multiply it by the molar mass and get the mass. Try to do that by your own. I'll give you the answer. But you can do it. Hari ඔයා තනියෙන් ඒක කරන්න. මම 17ක්ම ඩිස්කස් කරානේ. ඒක තනියෙන් කරන්න මේක. So it's 3,200 and then 112, 48, 60, 92. I think you won't get the answer. May answers නෑ මං හිතන්නේ tute එකේ. Check whether you can get the answer. I don't think you can't get it. So try to get this answer. The answer should be 1866.67 kilograms. This should be the answer. පොඩි error එකක් තියෙනවා in this question. This should be the answer. Hari? Check whether you can get it. This should be the answer. Hari. Then that's it for the day. Hari? Give me 2 more minutes. How was the seminar? Was it effective? දෙයක් කරගත්තද? පොඩි comment එකක් දාමු. Just give me your honest opinion. මේක පස්සේ දෙන්නම්. I'll send you the recording and I'll upload the PDF of the discussion and all the other information will be sent to the group. Hari? So we'll have another session. The recent one will be the electrochemistry seminar on the next Tuesday, and also I'll inform you about the physics O-level seminar as well. ඒකත් මම දාන්නම් මේ of Janidu sir. And everything will be informed on another group. I will redirect you to that group. And also everything regarding if you are willing to do A-levels, if you are doing A-levels, most of you might be doing A-levels, and එතනදී කරන stream එක මොකද්ද? There will be another session for that. ඒක වෙනම introductory seminar එකක් යනවා. හරි? And then if you are joining our classes in the future, then ඉනම් වෙනම වැඩක් තියෙයි, right? So actually we are the I haven't compared with the other classes, but considering the results, our chemistry A percentage is 50% for the whole island. It's 7 or 6%. හරි මාර හොඳ results තියෙනවා අපේ classes වල. So we'll discuss those later. But for the moment, go through the messages always on the group. Hari. And yeah, thank you for your feedbacks. It's very important, right? It's very important. Your feedbacks always. මේවා මම කරන්නේ satisfaction එක, right? These are free sessions, right? මගේ වෙලාවේ මම මේවා කරන්නේ simply for the satisfaction, and I want to give something to the society, right? මම A level classes නේ කරන්නේ, but I do this simply to give something for the society. Yeah, so that's it. Yeah, we'll talk about A levels, A introductory sessions. ඔක්කොම තියෙනවා, just be on the group, and as a favor මම හැමදාම ඕගොල්ලන්ගෙන් ඉල්ලුව එක දෙයයි. Get a good result and also share the message. අපි ඉතින් මේ messages ඕගොල්ලෝ pass කරන messages ම තමයි, right? ඕගොල්ලෝ pass කරන messages ම තමයි. ඉතින් අපි ගැන කට්ටිය දැනගන්න එහෙම තමයි, right? So if this was effective, you can go through the recording, which is as a YouTube live. I'll send the link to the group as well. Then let's meet on next Tuesday. Let's meet on next Tuesday. Again at 8 p.m. We'll cover the entire electrochemistry part. So meanwhile, if you have any issues, you can just send me a text. Hari, may send me a text. I'll answer it. They වෙලා යන්න පුළුවන්. හරි ගොඩාක් ළමයි message කරනවා A level classes වල. ඒ තියෙනවා කතන්දර ලොකුක් මේකක් නෙදී. But I'll try my best to answer your questions, doubts. And yeah, that's it. Then if you have no issues, we can finish the session. Right. එහෙනම් ඉතින් එච්චර තමයිනේ. Right. Then we'll finish the session. Thank you for joining. Have a nice day. හරි. ඔයගොල්ලෝ මේටිගේ මහන්සිලා හොඳට කරගන්න. හරි. මම ඉවරනකම් ඔයගොල්ලන්ට support එක දෙන්නම්. එහෙමත් ගාමු. Right. Thank you for your feedbacks. Then I'll end the meeting.